Greetings, Wastelander. The name is Nelly, and I am the most patriotic post-war American you will ever meet. Even so, I'm not the only one. These are my companions. My friend Good here was a fellow security officer with me in our Vault 13, the most patriotic vault in the entire world, a true relic of the pre-war lifestyle and culture. And this is our loyal servant, Mr. Handy, but you can call him Farnsworth. He would die for us in a heartbeat and is always ready to serve his nation, and to die for it too. We are part of the United Volts of America, rebuilding our stars and stripes one volt at a time. We've been sent out into the waste by our overseer as part of a rapid expansion initiative. We have been tasked with building a vault of our own, miles away from home, for a top secret experiment. Our overseer was even kind enough to provide us with a modest amount of supplies. Awful kind of him, since most of it already belonged to us, especially since, though, we lost quite a few things during a recent attack by Vault 58, an unaffiliated vault that is led by a filthy, irradiated ghoul by the name of Boland. That's exactly why I used to have T-60 power armor, but no longer. The overseer said he needed it for defense, unfortunately. Luckily, though, I am well versed in wasteland survival, so I was the perfect choice for establishing a new vault, even without my tin can walking tank. Before we begin, I'll give you a brief rundown of myself. I'm pretty okay at most things, but great at crafting, construction, and intellectual, by far. I also dabble in a bit of medical work as well. Now, I understand you might think that this is crazily overpowered, and yes, that is the point. However, I do have a very painful laser burn scar on my brain that basically turned it into fried eggs. And all of my stats like manipulation, movement, things like that have been significantly reduced and hindered. Kinda evens things out though. My companion Good is really good at shooting and mining, and can also do a little bit of planting. That's about it. But enough talk, it's time to work. Now begins our epic journey of creating our very own vault. For the next several hours of this first day, we would spend time mining out the opening corridor section of the vault, the entrance where we plan on putting our great, big, impenetrable gear door. But as night was upon us and the sun began to set, we would whip out our tents that we had packed with us as well, and even started ourselves a cozy, warm little fire. You know, most people in the wasteland would murder you and harvest your organs with a rusty spoon for a setup like this. But what we plan on building here is going to be so much more. We've worked our fingers to the bone here today, though. It's time that we get some much-needed shut-eye. With a very long road ahead, we'll need to get as much rest in as possible. In the meanwhile, Farnsworth would keep a watchful eye over us like a hawk all night long. 3 watchful eyes, technically, so like a hawk with 3 eyes. A mechanical hawk with 3 eyes, and a saw blade for a hand. Now that we've actually mined out the entrance of our vault, we're in desperate need of materials and resources that we can use to go about building our door, and of course our walls, as well as a plethora of other things that are needed to make a vault whole. So of course we were mining plenty of steel for this. First things first, for our entranceway, as you might have guessed, is going to be the actual door to our vault. This is going to be our lifeline. When shit hits the fan, we need something that we can sling between us and the enemies so that we can hide inside, keeping us as well as our other dwellers safe. We also threw in some shabby flooring, as it was better than stepping on the rough stone. Now with the proper, and I use that term loosely, entranceway completed, it was time for us to continue mining out another significant section of our vault. One of the first things I actually plan on incorporating is going to be a greenhouse area so that we can grow our own food. Pretty crucial in a place like this that is kind of sterile in the worst type of way. Not sterile of all life though, unfortunately, as we had a filthy, mutated, gigantic worker ant attempting to bite us with its filthy mandibles. We killed it. And now, with that filthy little bastard out of the way, we can get back to the more relaxing things in life, like moving mountains, quite literally, to build this vault, baby. As mentioned, the very first amenity and necessity that we're going to be adding in is a greenhouse, so we waste absolutely no time expending a lot of that there steel that we've been mining to build ourselves some planter boxes, as well as a battery, and, most importantly perhaps of all, a sun lamp. That way we can actually grow these damned crops. First and foremost, we're going to start out with some rice, and really the only reason is because it grows so quickly. As some good old-fashioned God-fearing Americans, we would prefer something a little bit more artery-clogging, but unfortunately I'm not able to grow red meat. Go figure. However, that giant ant that tried to bite our toes off about a day ago gave me an idea. Why don't we just hunt down these ugly little bastards, slaughter them, and eat them? It's not exactly red meat, it's actually green meat. Kinda gross, slimy, stringy, but protein nonetheless. Besides, it'll help us supplement our diet and also keep us alive until our rice is grown. Obviously, we also need a decent place to store things, and until we end up having somewhere like that, we're going to be building some large steel shelves in the entranceway of our vault. Obviously, it would be much more preferable to have a proper warehouse, but all in due time, my friends. And as much as we love roughing it out in the woods, there's a great big chance that a Yaoguai is going to sneak up on us in the middle of the night when our campfire goes out and when our Mr. Handy Farnsworth battery depletes and eat us whole. So, instead of that happening, hear me out, how about we dig ourselves a couple of decent bedrooms, like any proper good vault would have. Oh yeah, as much as I love lying on the cold hard ground with a very small piece of cloth between the rocks and my head, I think that these beds are going to be much more comfortable, and of course much more safe, most importantly. It wouldn't be long at all before we had our very first harvest of our greenhouse. Plenty of rice to spare and plenty for our tummies. We are off to a great start, I must say. Ah, and would you look at that, it would appear that we have some local wastelanders coming to visit us. Perhaps we're about to be off to a better start than I thought. So we currently have Clementine and Lee coming to our camp here. They could be exactly the type of folks that we're looking for. It also seems that the two of them are brother and sister, which, interesting. That's actually exactly what we need, so suppose let's get everyone ready and we will attempt to arrest them. I don't want to kill them, so I'm actually going to give Nellie Goods taser gun in an attempt to not murder them. We're going to make sure that Farnsworth does not fire at will because we don't want him blasting them between the eyes with his laser. Let's get everyone ready here though and we'll attempt to arrest them. We've got a 60% chance. Oh, we need prisoner beds. Let me just throw them right in here. We'll go ahead and let them have Nellie's bedroom and we'll end up moving her bed into the other one. All right, now let us attempt it. 60% chance, 60% chance. Here we go. That did not work at all. Let's beat them down. I'm going to let Farnsworth beat Clementine instead of shooting Clementine. We'll attempt to use our taser on Lee. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Yeah, here we go. Oh! But he's getting us with that shotgun. That's the problem. We don't want to get murdered here. Let's hit him again, and we'll keep stunning him. Oh, Clementine is down. We're gonna beat Lee down as well. There we go. Keep him stunned. Keep him stunned. We'll attempt to capture him. Farnsworth, I really wish that you could capture prisoners for us. I guess let Farnsworth help us beat Lee. Or should I? I'm afraid Farnsworth will kill him. There we go. Down for the count. How bad are we, Nellie? A little bit of a... yeah, it's alright. A little bit of a shot in the chest, but it wasn't anything bad. We got a few cracks and bruises on good. We're good to go. How about you, Clementine? Yeah, just beat down a bit. Everyone's fine. So we'll actually go ahead and capture them. Yeah, just a few cracks and bruises and scrapes and cuts. They'll be A-okay. Now we are going to be bringing them in, and funny enough, I haven't said it just yet, although you've probably seen by the title of the video or the thumbnail or something as to what we're going to be doing here, but a brother and sister, as, you know, they're perfect for the experiment that we need to run here in our vault, as we are on a grand mission from Vault 13, from our overseer, and we will be carrying out our task, believe you me. We've got them both captured. We will attempt to tend to them when we have a moment. I hope they don't get any infections, although they probably will. We're also going to go ahead and attempt to recruit them both. As we want them to be proper vault dwellers for our experiment, of course, only use herbal meds. Why would I want you using good medicine for this? We're gonna get them tended to, though, and we'll start recruiting them for our experiment, though. And we're also going to, of course, continue expanding our vault, so on, so forth. Now, perhaps you didn't read the title or see the thumbnail, in which case I should explain our vault's experiment. It is going to be some good old-fashioned inbreeding. Yep, I'm really doing this. No, I'm not just doing this to be a sick freak. There is actual scientific data to be collected. Our home vault, Vault 13, has a limited population. And as badly as we wish we could keep the doors closed forever to thrive inside, we do worry that no longer including the occasional pure human outsider could cause unwanted side effects a few generations down the line, if you know what I mean. So we must inbreed dwellers here to find out the side effects of cousin lovin'. Or I suppose in this case, perhaps a little bit closer of a relationship, and on the you already know what I'm talking about. Good God, this is so gross. Anywho, though, as we are attempting to recruit our two new siblings among our dweller ranks, we are also going to be expanding the vault a little bit further. Now, I do have Dub's bad hygiene. Everybody has to use the bathroom and likes a nice warm shower, so we are going to be building a public restroom for all of our vault to enjoy. Apologies for breaking the immersion so much here as well, but I do also want to mention not only do we have Dub's bad hygiene, but we also have a lot of mods, many of which are probably still outdated, almost definitely still outdated, so if you can't get it to work, that's definitely as to why, but there is a mod list in the video description of every single video, so feel free to check that out if you want to play along. After we built this public restroom, I noticed our poor Mr. Farnsworth passed out on the floor, trickling energy back into his batteries. We really need to get him a recharger at some point, but until we have the proper infrastructure, I suppose you could say, for power generation, we're just gonna have to deal with it. But this also means we'll be on our own for any future conflicts. We ended up having some pigs join us out of the blue. They actually seem untouched by radiation. Somewhat, at least. I'm sure their insides are radiated to all hell, even though their outsides look fairly normal. Pigs are a lot like humans from a biological standpoint. Perhaps they could be useful for our experiment as well. Very well, we shall also begin inbreeding the pigs. For scientific reasons only, I swear. For the time being, we're going to keep them tied outside, which also made me think we should probably start building some damn defenses out here. Once we finally get noticed by some raiders or some other devious, scandalous bastards, we're gonna have to defend ourselves, and some embrasures and spike traps will make that a lot easier. We would actually begin mining out a pin pig inside, but then I realized we don't even have food for them, so bringing them inside will only end in them starving to death. I think they'd be a lot better off, at least for the time being, staying outside where we can tie them, and then untie them so they can go out and find brambles and grass to snack on. Speaking of food, though, essentially doubling our population with our two siblings that we took prisoner is costing us a lot of the rice that we've been growing, so we would actually end up expanding our food growing zone and adding in many a new planter box. That way we can ensure we have ample amounts of food for everyone for the foreseeable future. But then something interesting ended up happening. It would seem that Clementine ended up getting flirted with by Lee, her brother, by making fun of her emotional stability. That's one way to do it, I suppose, and the two of them are now dating. I didn't make them do this, so kind of seems like this was going on from the start. The wasteland is a wild place. However, I will take credit for my horrible action of encouraging them to have an offspring, okay? But I didn't make them fall in love. That was already going on. With any luck, though, we'll have some little inbred test subjects within the next few months. Hopefully sooner. Speaking of which, we arrived in the area at a terrible time. As we arrived, I think, in summer, late summer, it's already early winter, which means that things are about to get very cold very fast. Luckily, we are resourceful, if nothing else, so we started tearing apart our old tents, and we would actually reuse the fabric that they were made out of to tailor together a couple of nice warm jackets. Oh, that's right, a couple of bad bitches. Warm bad bitches, best of all. Ah, well then, it would seem that some sorry-ass, soon-to-be-dead raiders have finally found us. It appears that there's only 2 of them, but they do have a mongrel hound along with them. Obviously, it does appear that they are going to be planning and plotting before they come to try to kill us. Now, a preemptive attack isn't needed, but I need to do a preemptive attack. Yeah, I don't know. Based on what I'm seeing, though, I don't think we can actually come around this way because of the toxic waste. We can't path through it, so the only way into this area to fight them is going to be through these small rock formations. So I think we give that a try. Now, I will say I really wish that we had made ourselves at least some basic armor by this point, but that's okay. Farnsworth is still collecting some energy. I need to build him a charging station soon. He would be pretty useful in this battle, at least for drawing attention. Now, we are slightly outnumbered because they do have a dog, a mongrel, but we also have a Gauss rifle and grenades. So I think we're going to be okay, obviously, but they do have better armor than us. So let's start creeping up this area here. What's our range looking like? Not great. That bog hound is probably going to be one of the first things that attack us here. I don't want to start shooting yet. Genuinely, I would prefer to use the grenades first and foremost, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. The range on them, not that great. Oh, well, we are now because the bog hound is coming right for us. Let's chuck a grenade right there. We're going to throw it right in this area. Okay, and immediately we want to start pulling back. I hope that grenade gets the hound. Oh, it got the hound all right. All right, well, that's pretty good. Now we deal with the hound's masters. I don't know that we're going to be able to hit her from here with a grenade, but no, we definitely are not. That fell right down. Oh no, we have to be careful. Where's the other guy? He's up here. Okay, let's come this way. Oh my god, he just shot his pal in the back of the head. Oh my god, he shot her nose off. Yeah, good. Good shooting there, Ralph, you dumbass filthy ghoul. Dirty irradiated bastard. Oh, and we got a headshot too. Although our headshot was in the ear, I think we'll be fine. Whoa, excuse me, doing drugs in the middle of a fight, eh? Ah, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, grenade. Goodbye, Patsy. And soon to be goodbye, Ralph. Oh, we are getting some shots in. Patsy is running. Excuse me, Patsy. You could catch this for me here. Thank you. I'll see you in hell. Patsy's dead, and now we only have Ralph left. I'm gonna let Good draw his attention as Nellie comes down here and takes cover a bit closer so that she can get better shots in at him. He's taking cover behind those chunks, and he's doing pretty darn good. But I think, oh yeah, I think with a well-placed shot, we can handle him. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Now, in all reality, I probably shouldn't have blown Patsy up because she had some armor we could have used, but oh well, right? Let's go ahead and strip Ralph here, the dirty, irradiated piece of trash. Ralph, oh boy. I will see you in hell. All in all, I think we're fine. We did get shot quite a few times. We need to tend to ourselves, but I think we're gonna be okay. I will say, I want to pick up some of this stuff here. I actually want to wear some of this stuff like that turret pack. I think that's going to be quite useful. Didn't this guy have... Oh yeah, it's underneath us. Oh no, that's a kitchen knife. What kind of armor did he have on? For some reason, I thought he had some pretty good armor. Maybe it was this lady. One of them was wearing, and I don't see it anywhere, but I could have swore one of them was wearing combat armor. That's alright though, we'll make do with what we have. We got a pretty decent bit, and probably best of all, tonight we're going to be having bog hound mongrel dog tacos. Doesn't that sound exciting? Oh, you thought I was joking? Hell no, food is pretty scarce around here. Although I must say, I've never had to prepare a mongrel dog to be eaten like this. Would I do it well done, medium rare? I don't know, to be honest with you, but we didn't hear any complaints from our prisoners about the taste of the grilled hound hide. What? You thought we were going to eat that? Sweet John Eden's ghost. Hell no. God only knows where that putrid creature's been. Luckily, though, it did seem to nourish our prisoners quite well, as because Clementine is pregnant and in her first trimester, so she is going to be eating for two. While she and her brother Lover are growing our little science experiment inside her tum-tum, we are currently dealing with that power issue that I was talking about a bit earlier, how we need to work on some proper infrastructure. It would seem that our solar panels are doing okay for now, but that won't be the case pretty soon. We've already had to expand how many we had twice. Luckily, we do come prepared with all the research and the blueprints from our previous vault, so we could go about building ourselves some General Atomics reactors. Of course, though, we are going to need some materials. Thankfully, even after a hellish nuclear apocalypse, the wasteland is still rich with many of the materials that we need, such as plasteel as well as uranium. Of course, uranium will only be the fuel and not what is required to build it. The only thing currently standing between us, our first reactor, and our future reactors are advanced components. Now, I'd be more than happy to go about fabricating my own, but as I'm sure you already know, a fabrication workshop requires advanced components to be created. A bit of a chicken or the egg situation, right? Luckily, even though we've kidnapped some wastelanders, we still hold neutrality in relationships with others. So, we are going to be sending Good out to do a little bit of trading with some of the caps that our overseer provided us with on our journey here, and that way we can buy our very first advanced components. Although, of course, as I'm sure you also well know, this journey is going to take quite some time. So, in the meantime, back home, we finally convinced Lee to join us. Come on, Lee, you get 3 meals a day. You can go to the bathroom anytime you want. I mean, it's pretty great here. We got running water. You go back outside those doors, you'll probably die. We'll probably kill you. You got a baby on the way. And a little niece or nephew. It just keeps getting worse every time I have to talk about it, don't it? Well, since we are going to be building some reactors pretty soon, I think we should go ahead and cap off our reactor room. This was originally just going to be part of our pig pen, but I don't know, why the hell not, right? And we can go ahead and mine out the rest of it for the pig pen, that way we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Since we have some new dwellers joining us, and most likely many more in the future, I also thought it would probably be a good idea to get a head start on growing some cloth. That way we can sew together some proper vault suits for everyone. By this point, Good had finally arrived at the Wastelanders' settlement and would immediately begin trading, bartering, and purchasing some advanced components before making her way back home. A slow, trogging, tedious trek through the disgusting, filthy, dangerous wasteland. As she was doing that, we were finally bringing our hogs inside. With winter here, it is very cold outside, and I would hate to lose them to frostbite or for them to become so injured that they can't even walk around anymore. We're a bunch of sick freaks collecting inbred people and data on inbred people, but even we are not cool with animal cruelty. Oh, speaking of, by the way, our sow is finally pregnant, and within the next few months we'll probably be having some inbred piggies too. Uh-oh. Looks like Good is in a whole heaping mess of trouble. So let's see what we're dealing with here. We have Good. We've been ambushed, obviously. We have Good up here with a handmade rifle. I do want her to take cover in some ruins and wreckage, which appear to be clear. I want to make sure she's not out in the open. We've got a lot going on here. Looks like we have 1 enemy. We have a lot of wreckage from the pre-war. I am going to pause for a second. It looks like, I'm going to unpause so I can see what they are. A super mutant wearing some scrap metal armor, scrap metal hammer, and that's about it. I don't know if we can take on a super mutant by ourselves. I mean, we probably could, but it's going to be quite dangerous. What else do we have here? This appears to be the super mutant's camp. We've got a dead NCR. I guess it's not a ranger, I don't think. I could be wrong. A dead husky. That's very sad. All this is very sad. This appears to be the mutant's camp. I didn't notice this. We must have went a different way coming back towards the vault because I didn't notice this going out. That's about all the interesting I see. Well, except for this. Is that a Brotherhood of Steel Century bot? I don't know. It weighs a lot, doesn't it? 60 kilograms. Something tells me it should weigh more than that. We might try to haul that out of here if we have the opportunity. But yeah, so we are hiding in the ruins up here. Now, I will say for this trip, I packed some very interesting things. One of which being Psycho. Now, I'm not going to say that we're against taking drugs, especially combat drugs. I would prefer that we didn't do it, and so would the overseer of Vault 13, but he's not here right now. And so if we need something like Psycho to help us with our fighting, I think we should probably take it. One human against a super mutant? Yeah, we definitely need it. So let's inject Psycho. And what kind of boost does that give us? We're 6 hours high, our consciousness moving, blood pumping, melee damage, stagger time, range cooldown, and shooting accuracy. Wow, okay, so Psycho's pretty great. If things get really hairy, we also pack 3 stim packs, so that's also something to keep in mind, of course. Let's see if we can sneak around the wreckage here, and we'll try to get a shot off at this mutant. This was an ambush, but it's more like we've just come up on his camp, and we can't get out of here without being spotted by him without killing him. Of course, we'll have to murder him. What's our range looking like? About to be pretty good. We're going to go into his camp, a little bit dangerous, but we're going to do it. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's coming this way. We gotta be careful. He's coming right for us, and he has much better armor, as we have none. He's very slow. He's either really slow, or we're really fast because we're super high on drugs. I want to chuck a grenade right here. I think that's going to be his path. And I'm going to swap back over to my rifle. Oh, alright, now we're getting somewhere. Move, 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 move. Go, 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 go. We have to move around a lot of this wreckage, which isn't good. Move, here he comes. We dropped a stim pack by mistake. I got nervous. I got very nervous. Oh shit, oh shit. Oh, okay. That was very close. Go, go, go. Ugh, this is just the slowest fight ever. Chuck one right at his toes. Damn mutant. They're like walking tanks, for God's sake. Standing across, there we go. I was going to say standing across the nuclear waste like this, I think's our best bet because he can't come up that way. What did he drop? Some caps, a scrap hammer, and some rat away, which is pretty interesting. Now, I would like to take some of this armor, I think. As much as I don't care about this mutant, this armor might be worth it. Jesus! This guy can take one hell of a beating here. He's still not dead. But I can't leave him alive because if I don't finish him off, he may come for our camp later on. Good God. Let's pick up his hammer, I guess, because holy shit. There we go. Smash his head. My God, that took forever. We do have all of his stuff now, though. We have his armor, we have his rat away, everything else. I think we'll also try to take that sentry bot with us. I am starting to starve, or I should say Good is starting to starve. Oh shit, we don't have any food either. We're gonna have to eat some of this toxic meat. It's a good thing we have some rat away because, ugh, that is not going to be good for our gut. Now, we also have a vertibird. Very much damaged. Let's see if we can collect anything from scavenging. Oh my God, legendary military fatigues. I mean, that's pretty cool, but there's not much to them. Now, there is an army helmet, and we also have caps, so that's pretty cool. The thing is about the legendary fatigues, as great as the legendary stat is, I mean, as you can see, they really offer no armor. So, well, they do offer the plus 6% range cooldown multiplier. So, I think, though, the best thing for us to do would be to recycle them for whatever they're made of, and we can actually use them to make some vault suits and stuff. I think that's going to be our best bet. Even though they are legendary, there's not much going on there. We also don't have much going on here within this little destroyed region, except for that sentry bot, so I guess we're going to load it up. We might... we do have an obsidian bowie knife. That's pretty good. We'll take that along with us as well, and we'll take the sentry bot and whatever else we can, and I think we'll head back home. Well, thanks to our advanced vault tech-approved backpacks, we were able to carry everything with room to spare, ultimately beginning the long journey back home. though we were relatively close. Finally arriving about a day or so later, coming straight into the entranceway and immediately dropping everything with a sigh of relief. Though Good could carry it whole quite easily, it was still pretty heavy on her back. You try packing a century bot around. Not as easy as it looks. Thankfully though, with the advanced components that she had obtained from the Wastelanders, we were able to build our very first General Atomics reactor, using a few hundred pounds of uranium that we mined right here at home to power this bad boy, and ultimately our base as a whole. We should be good on electricity for the foreseeable future, but as soon as we need more, we also have more advanced components to build yet another. I would say we are in pretty darn good standing, so much in fact that we could go ahead and start expanding the base a bit. But first, I did want to mention, originally my intentions with our legendary military fatigues that we found was to recycle them for cloth and whatever base resources they were made out of. However, I'm stupid because legendary fatigues sell for a pretty decent price, so instead I've decided to hold off and wait for a decent buyer to come along. Touching back on expanding the base some though, as we mentioned there, now that we finally have a good method of power generation giving us a much higher power capacity, I think that it's time we started with some of the bare essentials that we should have worked on long ago, but we couldn't because of our power issues. Starting off here, we are going to be building a food storage area and a proper dining room / cafeteria. Every good vault worth its salt has one. It pales in comparison to the one back at Vault 13, but this one being more of an experimental testing facility vault, I think this is fun. Similar to our home vault though, we plan on using the resources that we're mining, i.e. marble chunks as well as slate chunks. We're going to be cutting those into usable blocks for furniture and for water piping, things like that. Resources are very limited in the wasteland, but luckily we can get quite creative. One such piece of furniture that these blocks were immediately useful for were our food storage areas, such as our shelving, as well as our food storage baskets, where we're going to be putting all our raw food like rice and potatoes, so on and so on. Unfortunately, much of the furniture within the cafeteria itself had to be made out of steel, except for those tables. I just forgot to use slate, unfortunately. Oopsie daisy. Either way though, I think that this is going to be a fine dining establishment, and to be honest with you, compared to most places folks are eating in this day and age, it might as well be heaven. By this point, we had also finally convinced Clementine to join us. I mean, you might as well. Your lover brother has, and you guys are going to be having a baby pretty soon. You know, what else is there really? Anywho's though, welcome aboard. We might just make a patriot out of you yet, my inbreeding friend. She had joined us around the time we were working on the cafeteria, so a little bit of stuff happened. First and foremost, she actually tried to propose to her brother, who turned her down, which kinda sucks, I guess. But then a little bit later, he ended up proposing to her, I guess to make up for it, which is kinda sweet if you forget that they're siblings. I gotta be honest with you though, I don't really care about that. We're not here to collect any type of scientific data on the relationships between these freaks. We're just here to see the adverse effects of their offspring. Speaking of which, Clementine is now in her second trimester, so it won't be long at all before we have a little genetic anomaly running around our holes. By this point, we had had a harvest or two of our cotton plants, giving us plenty of cloth that our new friend Lee here and his great crafting skill would use to make us a couple of Volt suits. See that there, Lee? You and your sister aren't just science experiments to us, you're really part of the family. Not like that though. But we give you purpose is what I mean. Speaking of purpose, we are going to be mining out a brand new, very elongated room which has a purpose of being our laboratory. We've already kicked off our little science experiment, yet we don't have anywhere to conduct more experiments, to collect data, so on and so forth. The main purpose of this room, of course, is also going to be so that we can do some research with the high-tech research bench into technologies we may not already be aware of, most of which we already have thanks to our extensive Vault-Tech education, but there's always more to be learned, such as, for example, growth vats, which are going to be our current research project. and they're actually going to be quite crucial for our mission here. As we spend the next few days researching this technology, it would also appear that we have our very first little piglet. Although it is not inbred, as its parents are not related genetically, or at least not that we know of, pretty soon this family tree will start looking more like a wreath. As our swine subjects are breeding and eating, and we are putting the finishing touches on growing vats, we are also going to be mining out an area right next to the laboratory here that will be functioning as our storage facility. Long overdue if you ask me, and it's going to be much larger with a much higher storage capacity than shoving a couple shelves in our entranceway. Go figure. And with that, my friends, we finally finished up our research, allowing us to now build our very own growth vats. We would start out with a couple of them. We don't have all that high of a population at the moment, so I don't think we're going to have too many babies to grow very quickly. Anytime soon, at least. We did leave plenty of room around both of them. The reason for this is because we plan on building some growth accelerators on each side and around the back of both of these vats. This will significantly, and I can't stress that enough, speed up the growing process. We're talking embryo to adult in probably about a month, if that. The only thing hindering us at the moment from building as many as we'd like, advanced components and silver. Silver, luckily, there were plenty of ore veins all around this region that we could easily mine, most of which actually being part of the same mountain that our vault was built under, giving us an ample stockpile of it. I was just about to send some folks out to some pre-war wreckage to search for advanced components, or maybe materials, so we could fabricate our own again. But it doesn't look like we're going to have to, as we currently have a trader from the Enclave. Ah, good old Uncle Sam. Always a pleasure doing business with him, I must say. In exchange for all of our money, some uranium, plasteel, and those legendary military uniforms, we ended up getting ourselves a laser pistol as well as quite a few advanced components. Just what we needed. These would allow us to build 10, yes, count 'em, 10 growth accelerators in total. 5 per growth vat, as that is the limit. It's as many as we can cram in around every side of one. As I mentioned, the acceleration in the patient's growth is going to be absolutely off the charts, and I can't wait to see it. Now, since Clementine was still in her last trimester and had yet to go into labor, I decided to begin mining out a significant portion of the vault once more. For our soon-to-be very inbred population of vault dwellers, of course. However, as I was doing this, I had neglected to notice Clementine had had the fastest labor I had ever seen in all my days. A healthy little inbred baby. Howdy, you strange little genetic anomaly. How would you like to spend the next few weeks inside a great big test tube? Yeah, I thought you would. Since Lee is the papa uncle, it was fitting we let him oversee her growing, of course, as well as ensuring that she's comfortable inside the great big growing vat. As this little critter grows, this feels like a good time for me as the narrator to tell you, this shit is gross, dude. Absolutely gross. I'm finding myself hesitant to do it as well as to narrate it, but I don't know. I think it's genuinely research that a vault with a limited population would need to have done, especially since all pre-war data and information would no longer be around about inbreeding and genetic side effects, as well as the stigma of what most would call common sense. Anywho, though, in the time it's taken for me to say all this, our little bundle of cousin lovin' had almost aged to 3 years old. If nothing else, this vault experiment will be a great test of age-accelerating technology. But how about a break from watching an inbred child grow in a gigantic test tube to see a brother and sister get happily married? Oh, it just keeps getting worse. Regardless, though, we would celebrate throughout the night with the happy couple dancing in the corridor for hours on end, listening to some radio from our dining room. By the time the wedding dinner and dance party was over, our test tube child was already 3 years old. By the time I'm finished talking in this clip, she'll be 6. I gotta say, one of the biggest issues we currently face is the fact that we have all of these growth accelerators significantly, again, I can't stress that enough, making the child grow very, very quickly. But that also means that she needs a lot of food, and I mean a lot of food. I mean, imagine growing an entire year within a couple of days, and imagine how much food you would have to eat normally within that time. That's a lot. So to help us meet these new nutrition needs, we would mine out yet another large portion of the mountain to the north, adding onto our growing room with many a new marble planter box. Nothing too special here, just more rice for the growing vats and potatoes for us, of course. Rice because it just grows so quickly, and with her being in a growing vat, she really doesn't care about the taste, so we just put the rice in raw, and it dispenses as a nice mush to her. And while she's growing, we also wanted to go ahead and spruce up some of the rooms. Just because we're living under a mountain doesn't mean we have to live like cavemen, for God's sake. We ended up using a lot of the stone that we've been cutting to make ourselves some dressers, end tables, and a lot of the cloth that we've been growing to make ourselves some nice rugs. Now, if this ain't quality living, I don't know what is. As we were sprucing the place up, though, of course, our growing child here was about to be an adult. We were only a few years out, which probably means about 2 more days, I'd say. However, in the dead of night came a raid. Not just any raiders. These were raiders from Lee and Clementine's village. But more than that, we had the brother of both of them, known as Jack, as well as the brother of both of them, known as Thatcher. Oh, you poor dumb bastards, the joke's on you. We wanted more relatives. So I'm beginning to bring everyone towards our defenses. Clementine is getting her weaponry, and I think she actually has it. It's a pipe shotgun, though, that she carried in. Not the most preferable, but we're gonna have to do the best we can with what we have. Luckily, we do have good with that laser pistol we got from the Enclave. Alright, I'm a little nervous. We might be fine. Oh yeah, we're completely fine. Hell yeah. Thacker, on the other hand, I would really prefer not to murder if we could help it. So let's try to not kill Thacker if we can. I'd much rather kill literally anyone else. I think I'll actually bring Nelly down this way, and I'm gonna try to... Oh, careful, careful. I want to... Oh, no. No. Thacker. That's really bad. You really shouldn't do that. Okay. Oh, okay, but he's alive. Sweet. All right. That's one of the biggest... I was very nervous about him dying. The spike trap, though, seems to have kept him alive. We have... Oh, Jack. Yes, Jack, the other brother that is coming this way as well. Anyone else I really don't care about, and we can just murder to our heart's content. We do have to be careful here. I always say we have to be careful. Of course we have to be careful, as we well know. But this person is literally right up on us. Come on. Oh, finally. Oh, but Nelly went down. Shot in the torso with that rifle, but she is alive. Now, here's the thing. Can we send someone after Jack? Maybe. I might send Clementine. Yeah, let's capture Thatcher. Realistically, we only need one of the brothers for our abhorrent experiments. But, we'll go ahead and capture Thatcher. I'm going to attempt to capture Jack. Our stun gun has a very small range. I don't think we're gonna get him in time, or are we? We might. No, I don't think so. I don't know, we're getting pretty close. No, we're definitely not. We're definitely not gonna be able to catch him, but it was a close one. What if we just shoot him from here? No. Alright, we tried. Good work, Clementine, you tried. My word! Let's pick up Nelly, we don't need her dead. For God's sake. Something we should really try to work on as well is getting everyone Pip-Boys. I think that would help out a lot. Of course, it didn't help Nelly in that situation as much, but that's more due to that mangled scar on her brain, so... Yeah. Oh, you know what, actually? I didn't even think about it. We've got Nelly and everybody who's injured. Why don't we just use stim packs? Yeah, administer a stim pack. Because what's going to happen is the stim pack should actually start healing their wounds a bit faster. Now, we do have Thatcher. That is great. Absolutely great for what we plan to use him for. Yeah, let's hit him and Nelly both with some stim packs. I want to see the effects. I am aware of what it does, but it's still really cool to watch. Oh yeah, look at that! It was a little fast, but yeah, that helped out a lot. And she's got regen for 1 hour. So let's use one on Thatcher. Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, regen for 1 hour. Look at all those healed injuries. God, oh, I love stim packs. I always forget about them, even though they're commonplace in this world. We really should be using them more often. We also, do we have a corpse pile? I can't remember if we do, but we need one. I'll toss a corpse pile up here. We need to throw some humans up here, but of course not our people. And, oh yeah, we have more pigs now. So we have Pig 2, which is a boy and Piglet 1, which is also a boy. Some really gross inbreeding going on up here, but that is, unfortunately, what's going to be happening. Monitoring the pigs is going to be easier because they're going to grow a lot faster and have more babies. And, you know, of course, we could always eat some of them if we don't need them. However, our lady here, who still needs to be named, I'm sure you wonderful folks could help me out with that in the comment section. She is currently 13 years old. She's actually going by the name of Bella, or Belle, but of course that doesn't have to be her name. You guys be sure to let me know what you'd like to name her. Something probably fitting, giving her parentage maybe. Soon though, she will be grown into an adult and we'll release her from her growing pod. Anyone else that ends up having a baby, such as, well, her mother, I guess, because she's part of this experiment, we can always put back in another pod and start growing, even after she's out, of course. And we're getting a pretty good start, I think, onto the vault here. But as they say, love can be found in the most unexpected of places. And you know what? For once, I don't actually mean between Lee and his sister, thankfully. Good was feeling a bit forward, and I must say, I feel quite, wooed, if I may say so myself. I've become infatuated with her, and we're dating now. Oh, finally, a normal relationship for a change. I was beginning to grow tired of all the cousin loving, even if it is our mission for this vault. Having a lady love of my own will make for a good bit of companionship that I think will make all the difference here. Truth be told, friends, our biggest issue throughout this journey is time. Because time never changes. And it takes forever. What you see currently is us waiting for time to pass, our test subject to grow, and her uncle to soon join us, hopefully. Something we weren't expecting, though, was Clementine getting pregnant again, although we do welcome it, just as she and her husband welcome their daughter, now a full-grown adult out of the growing test tube. Perfect for future experiments, as well as working around the vault. Now, if only we can get that uncle of yours to get on board with the vault, life will really be rolling. Oh yeah, I also finally remembered to build a recharger for Farnsworth after forgetting for it, well, this entire time. Sorry about that, old pal. Good to have you finally back online. But my friends, this is only the start of our righteous, patriotic mission to rebuild America. I'll see you later. Hello, Wastelander. The name is Nelly, and I am the loyal, patriotic, red-blooded American overseer of this here vault. Yet to be named vault, might I add, but at this time we are still currently doing some pretty interesting experiments. And by interesting, I mean grotesque and obscene experiments into inbreeding for necessary scientific data of a vault with a teeny population, of course. Yeah, this is all for science. We've recently acquired 2 Wastelanders and have successfully persuaded them to have a child together. Though, rather concerningly, we just put them in a room together and they kind of fell in love on their own. Almost as if they already were in love. Personally, I think we really only reinforced what they already wanted to pursue. Gross. Whatever, if it works, it works. Clementine here is also pregnant with her second inbred child and will be giving birth to our next test subject fairly soon. The young lady behind them is their daughter, and she is fresh out of our growth acceleration vat and is now an adult. Our little genetic oddity. Funny enough, she has no adverse medical side effects, even with her lineage, that being her being a product of a brother and a sister. Though she is only a first-generation inbred youngin' that we know of. She is a lead belly, however, giving her natural resistance to food poisoning. But further testing is required to know for sure if this is actually a product of the inbreeding. Could it give us superpowers? Doubtful. She is, however, slightly racist against mutants, ghouls, so on and so on. I believe that's more of a product of her upbringing around we pure humans. We've also captured her uncle recently, so he too will be available for our experimentation fairly soon. Today we shall expand our vault and, more importantly, our scientific understanding of this odd genetic research, for we don't plan on abandoning this vault anytime soon. Regardless of what happens to our inbred project here, it will function as a crucial research facility vault for the UVA. Short for the United Vaults of America. Us, obviously. But we've yet to even begin work on one of the most crucial parts of any vault, which, as you can see here, we are currently mining out, and once we're finished up with that, we're actually going to be constructing. finally, we shall have an overseer's office, an office for myself, of course. You'll find that it's quite hard to keep data as well as the necessary documents on where we're draining our sewage waste to out into the wasteland, let alone this family wreath that we're creating here without one's personal terminal. But now with a proper overseer's office, that is all in the past. Not only will I be able to keep these documents and statistics and blah 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 blah, but it's also a nice place to escape the weird folks outside my doors now. And we can also have meetings here, all sorts of cool stuff. No, Josiah, you can't marry her. She's your third cousin. You have to marry Elizabeth. She's your first cousin. Sorry, I was just practicing. Now, we've been building all this vault tech equipment out of a lot of the stone and things that we've been mining from the vault, as is our custom here in the United Vaults of America. We make sure to use as much of these mountains as possible. Mostly because there's not that many resources available to us out in this hellscape. Anyhow, though, we're also going to be planting some dyes. That way we can color everything to the appropriate Vault-Tec blue and also a nice sanitary white. While we're waiting on that to grow, we are going to be growing our power grid a little bit more with some additional atomic reactors. We don't currently need them at this moment, but we'll definitely be needing them for any future expansions throughout the vault, so we might as well. Speaking of which, we are actually going to be expanding a bit to the south at the moment. Now, this mountain is rather small, or at least in comparison to the mountain at our home vault of Vault 13, which was absolutely ginormous. But I think for what we have planned here, with this one being more of a research facility with a limited population, this is completely fine, and I don't expect that we'll have any issues from this. I just wanted to point it out, though, because this vault is going to be much smaller, and we're definitely not going to have any type of pre-war home or town under this one. This also feels like a good time to tell you that if you're expecting this series to go on for 6 to 8 episodes or something, I have no idea if it will. It really depends on how fast we end up getting the scientific data that we need. We could be cut pretty short here, so I'm just saying, set your expectations low. By this point, we finally had those dyes that we were growing, or at least a decent bit of them. So as mentioned, I went around painting a lot of our furniture to sanitary white and Vault-Tec blue, blah blah blah. However, we also have a great suggestion from our good friend D2T Codex, who had suggested that our test subjects, the inbreeding populace, should actually have different Vault suit uniforms than us, such as orange. I like it because it gives them a somewhat prisoner vibe, even though they are not prisoners, of course. What a silly thing. All that being said, though, I introduce to you the new state-of-the-art Vault-Tec approved test subject Vault suits, now in orange, so we can easily tell them apart from we staff and normal folk. Yet they will still feel as if they are part of the team. Just as sleek and protective as the normal suits, but now we know who's management and staff and who's in love with their sibling like a total weirdo. I'm just kidding, guys. No worries. We don't see you inbred people as any different than ourselves, nor do we think any different of you here at the Vault. Excuse me just a second. Just doing a little paperwork. By this point, we had also finally recruited Thatcher, the uncle of, let's see, Belle, and also the brother of Lee and Clementine. I expect this to get a lot harder as we go on, and at some point it's just going to become one big jumbled mess. Why, it's just one great big regular family reunion. Alright, you three, get back to work. If you ain't breeding, you gotta be working. This part of the vault that you've seen us working on and off is actually going to be a new residential wing, with basically our entire experiment being breeding, and that being, of course, inbreeding. That does mean we're going to have a lot of people at some point, so I want to make sure we have enough adequate space for them all. Just because they're basically our glorified test subjects and science experiments, that doesn't mean that we can't give them comfortable rooms now, does it? There are some perks to being our little guinea pigs. Speaking of which, this wing of the vault, to to the east and next to our storage facility is going to be our hospital. We'll be able to perform surgeries here as well as some surgical inspections and what have you, if you know what I'm talking about, of course, once we have some folks who are probably very, very inbred. Anyhow, though, that's going to take a little bit of time. As for right now, we have a new relationship. Oh boy, looks like Thatcher flirted with Belle, his niece, by describing her as a bright wood, and the two of them are now dating. With such a grotesque relationship once again landing in our lap, I wish to remind you, I'm not controlling or even attempting to influence the relationship journeys. As you saw, Thatcher is the one who flirted with his niece, and she is the one who accepted. I, the overseer, simply put the wheels in motion by kidnapping them all for the experiment, so don't blame me. Okay, if they insist on their little relationship, then we, for the sake of our scientific data, shall push them in the right direction for the sake of experimentation. And by that I mean I just told them to have a baby. And like the good lab rats they are, they listened. That was awful fast, but you won't hear us complaining, I guess. I'm fairly sure I stated this when we initially founded the Vault, but to reiterate, our biggest enemy right now is time. Of course, as we saw with our first little inbred youngin, with that being Belle, of course, we can easily accelerate her birth and within the span of about a month or so, make her into a full-grown adult. We don't have a way to actually speed up this process of growth inside of the mother's womb. So we take a very long amount of time waiting for the children to be born. Luckily though, by the time I'm done yapping with this beautiful shot of our home region, it would seem that Clementine has given birth once more. Looks like Belle has a little baby sister. Although this child has an illness. Could this be a product of this inbreeding? I think our studies are starting to get somewhere now. Well, lucky for this little inbred lady, we have the best medicine Vault-Tec has to offer. We'll be pumping it into her growth acceleration tank, and she can eat it like a little goldfish eats flakes. A perfect plan. And now we begin the process of accelerating her growth multiple times the normal rate. If I were a real scientist, I'd be able to give you an exact number on that, but I'm just here to look for those genetic anomalies. I don't care how long it takes, as long as it's fast. While our new test subject grows, we are going to be putting the finishing touches here on constructing our Vault Hospital. Now, of course, it doesn't seem as if it's very large, and that's because it's not. We really only have enough room for about 6 patients at a time, and 2 of those rooms are going to be specifically operating rooms, but they can act as hospital beds in rooms if need be. We may eventually expand this, it really just depends on how fast and how large the inbred populace grows, and how often they're having these illnesses. We have all the equipment and amenities that any good Vault hospital would have, except for a dock mate, but we'll be working on that fairly soon. Until then, I still think it's a perfect place to tend to wounds, illnesses, and of course to have babies, as our sweet Belle here is going to be having soon. Uh-oh. Looks like we have some trouble to deal with, though. Ah, the Dawn Protectors. Now that is an interesting group of settlers. They're awful far north from their homes. I suppose they're still upset about us kidnapping their pure human settlers back at Vault 13. So much, in fact, that they didn't mind making a trip just to become corpses on the ground. Although their idea of tunneling into our vault is a little bit concerning. Either way, looks like we need to ready ourselves for a fight. We have our friends from the Dawn Protectors coming right for us, kinda sorta. It seems like some of them might be going in a separate direction. No, here they all come, okay. We are preparing for this battle. I think, yeah, even Farnsworth is with us here. Farnsworth laser is very short range. I'm gonna get everyone ready though. We have Belle with the sawed-off shotgun. Lee, Good, Clementine, and Thatcher, and myself, of course, all have some actual weapons. You have a helmet, Lee? You sure do. Put that on for me, friend. Gonna want to protect your noggin, Lee, as best you can. I can promise you that. So the issue, of course, is that they don't just plan on coming and attacking us. They're looking to completely disrupt our entire operation here by breaking into our vault, which is a big issue, one that we hope to not have happen, of course. I think with my Gauss rifle, I should be able to hit them. Yeah, I should have some pretty good range. We can Oh my god. That's some pretty damn good range, I'd say. One shot directly to the neck, and I blew their head off. Oh my god. We are all about to have them within range. If things start going south, we immediately need to head inside. We'll kind of keep Farnsworth back here a little. Oh, Lee is getting pretty badly injured. All right, we got people coming right at us. Let's move down to this location. Oh, some of their people... All right, yeah, let's get inside. Some of their people are pretty badly injured. Oh, God. Our people are as well, though. Our people definitely are as well. Let's keep Good and Thatcher back for supporting fire as the rest of us rush inside. Go, 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 go. Thatcher. Come on, Thatcher. Go on. Go, go, go. And hopefully, I don't think this is going to close in time. Farnsworth could hold the line. Hold the line, Farnsworth. They're gonna... Oh, and Clementine. They're gonna start coming in, though. Let's hold this door open. I'll let Clementine walk into it and then back out. She can help us hold the line. Farnsworth, hold them. Hold them, brother. Hold them. Hold them. Keep them from coming in here. Come on. Everybody else, I need people to start tending to each other here if I can. Thatcher can come over here with the sniper rifle and help us out. There we go. All right, Farnsworth, out of the way. Out of the way, preferably, Farnsworth. I'm actually going to close this door now. Oh, shit. And so it begins. They are starting to come inside. We're going to have to start opening these doors and taking cover back here, because they are coming for us. Farnsworth, you can actually go in there and help us with that. Okay, we need to tend to Nellie and Belle and everyone else. But Belle is pregnant. Okay, so we have to be quite careful with her. Yeah, I want her to go rest, and we'll start tending to her. As for us and Good, we will hold the line. They're actually about to break into our bedroom, so we will have Farnsworth. Oh, God. We're going to have Farnsworth go in there to help us out. Here we go. Come on, everybody. Gather around. For sure. Oh, God, they're coming through the vault door, too, though. This is really not great. Hold the line. Hold the line. Get him, Farnsworth. Get him, Farnsworth. Laser blast his ass. Or melee. Oh, God. Farnsworth is the real hero here. Oh, they're busting through our bedrooms. Open this door as well. Thatcher, come down here. All right, Nellie is really doing quite well. Farnsworth might kill this one before they get close. Oh, no. That was not the case. Clementine, shoot him. Thank you. Let's take a second. Let's observe. So we have a lot of them who are very injured or dead. How many of them are alive? 4, I think. We have Shirley and we have Stetson. Belle is down here. I want Nellie. Oh, wait. Lee is tending to Belle. How sweet. A father tending to his daughter. If only it weren't for all the grotesque things that are happening in this vault. Anyways, though, they make it hard to have sweet family moments, as one might imagine. Let's bring everyone down. I think we can push Stetson back for sure. And then Shirley shouldn't be much harder. So let's go ahead and start killing Stetson. I'm actually sending Clementine in. Maybe I shouldn't. Let's send out our inbred marksman here to kill Shirley off for good. Stetson's back on his feet. Not for long. Oh, there we go. They're all defeated. I'm going to release everyone. I want Nellie tending to Belle. Tend to Belle. It's very important that we keep her alive. It looks like, yes, everyone's defeated. Okay, I'm going to pause, though, because we have... This person is not a pure human. Very unfortunate. You're not related to any of our people, either. Okay. Who isn't injured? Nobody. They're all injured. Very much so. Clementine, I think, is the least injured. So I want to strip this person. We can take their armor and what have you, even if we just sell it. This person by the name of Shirley, perfect. A pure human. We could actually use that person for our staff. Yeah, I'm actually going to tend to Shirley out here. She's gonna die in 3 hours, so we gotta be quick. Please, hurry. No medicine required. Think we'll be able to... Yes, we're gonna be able to keep her alive. Now, here's the important thing. We have some people like Nellie here who are very injured, but I think, yes, we have stim packs, as you can see. Inject the stim pack, and yep, she's regenning, so she is already healing. That's something we can use on Belle as well if we need to, but she is tended to pretty good. Thatcher, on the other hand, needs a little bit of help. I think we're going to be completely fine, though. How are we looking up here, Shirley? Looking good. Death in 9 hours. Go ahead and set one of these for prisoners, and after you're done tending to Shirley, capture her. That was pretty rough. Thankfully, we're all completely fine, and we should continue to be that way. That being said, we are now going to need to kind of fix our vault, as you might imagine. And we're also going to have to haul all these corpses. Let's go ahead, haul urgently to get them out of here. We do have plenty of weapons from that, including, oh, a flambe? A flambe? I don't know how you pronounce this. 450. Is that a flamethrower? Yeah. Fires a short spray of extremely hot flammable liquid. Ooh. Specialized fuel to work properly. Maybe chem fuel? Uh-oh, we have an infection. Good has an infection because we haven't tended to her. Damn. Where are our stim packs? A stim pack's not gonna fix the infection, but it will help with the other injuries. We need to do that though, and we need to very quickly, let's see. That won't heal the infection. No, definitely not. All right, good. I need you to go and rest with everyone else. We also want to wash you. I also want to feed you. All right, we're okay after all that, thankfully. We have a new prisoner who is a pure human who can be part of our staff. For any of you that may have missed the previous series, there's a chance that that might be the case, though it's probably most of you have seen, of course, Vault 13, and our pre-war town that we built. But if not, feel free to watch that series as well, if you so choose. We're very mutant-phobic, right? So anyone affected by radiation, such as ghouls, super mutants, so on and so forth, we refuse to take them in, and they are abominations upon the planet. And so, we only accept pure humans. That's why we're going to recruit Shirley, who is a pure human, and why her friend over here had to die. Just how it is. Alright, we are attending to that infection. I think with a 10 quality of 92, we'll be able... Yeah, we're already beating the infection with the immunity, which is good. Somebody is starving. Oh, good. All right. We're feeding her. All right. So we were victorious. We are victorious. We need to repair Farnsworth a bit. That was a bit of a shit show, but we survived, and that's the most important part. And we might even have a new staff member soon. And once Farnsworth isn't lying on the ground like this in shambles, he'll be able to clean up all this blood and everything for us. So that'll be great. Absolutely great. Now, of course, in the first episode of this series, we did get this Brotherhood of Steel Century bot. I think we need some research into mechanoids, right? I can't remember. I think it's the Advanced General Atomic Cybernetics, if I'm not mistaken. And I think, no, it may be Secret General Atomics design documents. We could, though, go about researching these, and once we do that, we'll be able to resurrect and reprogram and rebuild the Sentry Bot for our own defense. And once that happens, we shouldn't really have issues like this anymore, where we're getting the shit kicked out of us from these little raids. So that'll be something to look forward to, but that is a little ways off, as we are going to need the Assaultron head to study, and the depleted Sentry Bot fusion core. There's no fusion core in this one, I'm afraid, so we won't be able to study that. We need to feed... Oh my god, you know what? I have a great idea, and this is somebody else's idea. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. I apologize because I've completely forgot, but you made a great point. That instead of feeding these pigs, hey, we should have been feeding them humans' corpses. What a wonderful idea. As sickening as it is, it's going to be the easiest way for us to get rid of corpses and also keep our pigs fed. So that is just great. Let's do that immediately, actually. I'm going to work on that. Oh, yes! Oh, that's great! Our inbred piggies are feasting upon these people. Something else, I don't think they'll eat the clothing and armor, of course. We can actually use that clothing and armor to go about, like, if we wash it, but we'll have to make washing machines and everything. It'll take some time. But we can actually use their armor, which will be great. Such as for this gentleman here in the winterized, I think that's pre-war, no? Yes, U.S. Army winterized combat armor and a helmet, so pre-war stuff. We're all about the pre-war stuff, especially when it comes to defending ourselves. But this is great. Having the pigs go about eating the corpses, oh, that and a little bit of hay in their diet, and I think they'll be in good shape. It does look like they're eating the clothing. That can't be good for your diet, pigs. That can't be good for your diet. Let's strip him so that we don't lose this combat armor. Please, eat the corpse, but not the armor. I would appreciate it. Alright though, we are successful in our defense of our vault, even though they did end up penetrating it. Something I think we should try to work on perhaps this episode or the next is of course some indestructible or damn near indestructible exterior walls to protect us against people like this. That's something I really want to do, because once we get to that point, similar to how we did with Vault 13, we can basically just shut our door and let our little inbred folk breed and so we can do our genetic research. Our little Farnsworth here, the little trooper, he not only defended our vault alongside us without fear, but he also started sweeping the floors before we could even get him fully repaired. Now if that ain't a true American robot full of duty and loyalty, I don't know what is. But as we recover from the attack that we just fended off, how about I show you something a bit more happy-go-lucky and a bit more positive? Some wonderful art from our good friend, Ken the King. Ken King has absolutely non-stop been pumping out some great art for our series that we're currently running right now, with this one as well as our Western series, and I couldn't be more grateful. Here today we have Good and we have Nelly. Of course, adorning their vault suits, and Good having her little vault blue toque and her stun baton as well as her back. I think that these really capture the two characters quite well. I love that Nelly, just as we have her in the series here, also has her kind of, I guess you would call it posh hairstyle of the pre-war era, and obviously she looks a bit more accustomed to the more luxurious life as she had been with Vault 13 for a much longer time, and thus as to why she is the leader of this vault. But a major thank you to Ken King as always. As I always say, I really think that these works of art like this really help bring our characters to life, and of course they're done in the very cute and just wonderful rat art style, and I love them. I really do love them, and I know everybody else loves them, so I love to show them off. So thank you again. You can also find Ken King on Twitter if you would like to commission any of their wonderful artworks. But by the time I've finished showing you some wonderful art from our good pal, it would seem that our vault dwellers have finished cleaning up the mess that the attackers made, and Thatcher has decided to throw a party to celebrate. This party, for whatever reason, was held in the hallway. Maybe it's a chess party, since the chess tables are right there, and we don't have any form of alcohol or any actual refreshing beverages like Nuka-Cola. I guess this is the best we could do. I'm afraid we didn't even have any fine meals at the party, as we can't really afford to make any fine or lavish meals. We have a decent abundance of food, but since we're growing our pawns to maturity within a matter of a few weeks or a month, or I'm not really keeping track by this point, I just know it's incredibly fast, we're using up a lot of that raw food like rice, pumping it directly into these growth acceleration chambers. And so, thus, we really are just kind of getting by on food with what we currently have. Sure, it takes a lot of food, but on the bright side, the young lady in the growth acceleration chamber at the moment has went from the age of 10 to the age of 14 since I started talking. And, more so, it would seem that Thatcher is about to be a papa, as well as a great uncle, I think? I don't know. They ended up having a baby. Oh, congratulations to the happy father great uncle. But I'm afraid, Thatcher, old boy, we do need to put your new son in the growth acceleration chamber ASAP. As much as I wish we had the luxury of letting you spend any time with your little newborn baby, we have to grow it to an adult. That way it can start working around here and we can start collecting scientific data, for God's sake. We're not running a charity. As our two little lab rats began growing very quickly, the first nail in our coffin started to be hammered. We ended up having a devastating blight across all our crops. It seems generations of breeding our plants in a small bubble, or herd, one could say, has left them vulnerable to sickness. Interesting. Maybe even our plants will help us learn about the oddities and issues of inbreeding. Well, due to a lack of crops, now we'll need to supplement our diet with some solid meat for protein. We would slaughter our first sow and pig to eat, not only for food, but killing those two specific pigs will now ensure that any future offspring will solely be the product of siblings. Though the chances of that being the case were already around 99.9%, it is now 100% for sure. Now, as we wait on our field of crops to regrow and everyone's enjoying pork chops for dinner for the foreseeable future, we are also going to begin a new mining project right next to the Overseer's office, similar to how they did things back at our old vault of Vault 13, then we are actually going to be building our overseer, myself, Nellie, a wonderful little home of her own that is accompanied by the office itself, that right next to it. Basically makes it easier for me to run there to do my day-to-day work and then rush back over to my house without any recreation or fun or anything in between to get up and do it all again the next day. I'm feeling fine. This is great. In all seriousness, though, it doesn't just serve as a wonderful room with a little bit more luxury than most vault rooms for myself, as well as my lover Good, but it will actually increase my and her productivity as we go about our daily jobs. We also have a personal terminal and study where we can go about reading books and maybe just making some notes, communicating with Vault 13. We can take a hot bath, have a movie night, you know, important overseer stuff. Oh, well, look who's out of her growth acceleration pod. Glad to see you, ma'am. I see you named yourself something simple. Anywho, let's take a look at your health, eh? Oh, you still seem to have your illness from childhood. Odd your body hasn't fought it off yet. But I suppose a little bit of Vault-Tec medicine outside of your pod and you'll be fine in no time. You do appear to be unusually sensitive to things that negatively affect your mind. That's not good. You also appear to be very violent during fights. So basically, let me get this straight. You're an overly sensitive, violent person who is also inbred. Okay. Potential downside to having children with one siblings? I think so. If these illnesses are going to continue to persist through the generations, I think we should focus on growing more heal root to ensure that we can treat them adequately. Having to doctor inbred people isn't exactly a deal breaker for a vault with a limited population and limited options, but it is definitely something to be concerned over. Not that our vault dwellers here seem to be concerned with it, as they're looking at the prospects of getting married and continuing to have children, which is great for our experiment. And as such, we will happily indulge them. As a matter of fact, they can have the ceremony in our office and even have their reception here too. I don't care. Something I do care about, though, is letting them name themselves. These people have never really even been outside the vault walls, at least not unless you count the front yard, which I guess technically you could. Either way, though, Belle here named herself Belle, but I think Cleopatra is a much more befitting name. An amazing name suggestion from our good friend Mega Flamer, with the reason of course being because Cleopatra and her dynasty were heavily inbred from my understanding. And as for Lady, we are going to be naming her Dolly, with this name suggestion coming from our friend Invasion Animation because Dolly was the name of the first ever sheep that was cloned. I realize the growth acceleration chambers aren't exactly cloning, but I would say that these children are pretty genetically similar to their parents, so close enough, right? I've also seen a lot of great comments and suggestions for the names, basing the names of our dwellers here off of the Habsburg dynasty or the Habsburg house, with them being incredibly inbred as well. And I'm going to be doing that, and I really like that as well, but I want to start doing that, I think, once we get about another generation or so into the inbreeding. That way, the folks who had these genetic deformities in real life will be matching their Vault Dweller counterparts. Now, as for the number of our Vault, I suppose you could say the name, we have a great suggestion from our friend Iron Oni, with that being Vault 15, because Kentucky is the 15th state in the Union, even in Fallout lore, obviously. I'm going to be choosing this one, even just not because of just the meme of inbreeding and Appalachia and stuff, right, of course, and Kentucky has a lot of documented cases of inbreeding. Pretty famously, I would say so. Regardless, though, I still like the number of 15 too, because obviously with our original vault being 13, I think it would also make sense to have 15 here, and then we could do 14, and they would all be in a semi-close proximity to one another. Now, I realize the topic of having your state or your region labeled as inbred or being commonplace for inbreeding could be a little bit spicy and upsetting, so I just want to say that I'm also from Appalachia, and if you say that you are and that inbreeding isn't commonplace, you're a liar. Okay, maybe not commonplace, but it does happen, of course. Anywho, though, it would seem that we finally recruited Shirley into the ranks of Vault 15. Welcome aboard, you pure human lady. I initially wanted her to actually be Vault Security, but she has dogshit shooting and melee skill, and is more of an intellectual. So instead, I think I'll just let her help us out with our research projects. We all kind of operate as a security force right now anyway, so it's fine. Now that she's aboard, though, she'll help us with our day-to-day tasks as we go about mining a shit ton of steel. We are actually going to attempt to mine every bit of steel in this region, as we are going to desperately need it for our next project. Truth be told, to say we needed copious amounts of steel would be putting it lightly. This small section of exterior vault plating cost us just under 3,000 steel, and we are going to need a lot more of it if we hope to fully encase our entire vault. Which, as you could have guessed, is our next big project that I was hinting towards. Now, given that these walls actually have hit point values of 7,000, which is 13 times stronger than the normal vault plating that we've been using, I would definitely say that it's worth the time, effort, and resources. We ended up building a little bit more exterior plating, and just like that, we're all out of steel. Yet we have many, many more areas of plating to be built. This is going to take some time, but once we actually have these exterior plating walls built, we will basically have an impenetrable, impregnable vault, and we will be safe and secure inside. And, well, as long as we want to be inside. Similar to Vault 13, we're going to be sealing our doors. But as we're working hard to mine steel, it would seem that our little baby, now going by the name of Steroid for some reason, has completed his growth and is now an adult. Funny enough, he is a trigger-happy body purist with great memory. He might be the first of these inbred folks to have some pretty good traits. Except for the trigger-happy, I would consider him an outlier. But as always, further testing is needed. Speaking of which, it would seem that he's already found a suitable partner. Well, depending on your definition of suitable, obviously. Dolly has fallen for Steroid after flirting with him. I suppose the two of them got real chummy. Maybe telepathically communicating in those growth pods? I don't know. What I do know, though, is that the waters are getting a little muddy. We have lover, nephew, cousin, and lover, aunt, cousin. Alright, this is only going to get worse as we go on. I feel like we're very much developing for our test subjects a very primal type of culture, where it's like, I'm an adult, you're an adult, let's breed, and then we just check the offspring for any horrible traits, which I'm sure are right around the corner. Funny enough, our next research project actually kind of relates to that, as we are going to be doing research into brain wiring, which will allow us to create things like joy wires. Basically forcing someone to be happy. I just thought we could get a head start on artificial ways of remedying some potential adverse side effects of the inbreeding, like mood destabilization, irrationality, hormone instability causing violent behavior, so on and so on. I'm not saying that those are common, but I'm just saying if they were to happen with some of the traits and stuff that we end up having with our little inbred test subjects. Moving on, though, it would appear that Cleopatra and Thatcher are getting married in our office, and we would of course indulge them and even be happy for them. Perhaps these strange folks and their even stranger customs are beginning to find a soft spot in our hearts. After this, though, we would immediately all be going out in groups and teams mining all that steel that I was yapping about. That way we could finally, oh finally, put the finishing touches on the exterior plating of our vault, working on the south, and then of course moving towards the north, all ultimately with the goal of being able to seal this place off and making it a damned fortress. And as we were doing this construction, we would also finish up our extensive research into the knowledge and technology of brain wiring, unlocking those joy wires. So we are finally finished here with our exterior wall. As you can see, we have it basically around the entire vault at this point. It's mostly just the weaker points, of course, so we'd have it down here by the overseer's office, by our residential areas. Obviously, as we continue expanding into some of these unused parts of the mountain, we're also going to be getting more steel and building more exterior plating around here. Although I don't really know where to find more steel at, we still have We still have plenty of compacted machinery, but as for steel, we're really starting to run low. I think we're pretty much out on the map. Maybe within some of these mountains here and stuff, or some of the ruins. We actually, no. Somewhere, though, I would guess there's some more. Like I said, plenty of compacted machinery here. Yes, we do have some up here, so that's good. So we'll try to use that as much as we can, or use as much as we can that we have left. If we really need to, we can of course set up a mine somewhere. But the vault is basically very much self-sufficient, and to be honest with you, I think we're basically ready to close our doors at any moment's notice. I think I'm going to save that for the next episode, though. I would really like for next episode to be, it's not only going to be us just breeding our inbred people, but that is probably going to be a big part of it, where we shut our doors and we just let time pass and we see what happens with these genetic anomalies. But because I think that could be pretty boring, we'll probably also be going out on some adventures. We may also have to go out and set up some mining, at least temporarily. That way we can get more steel as needed. We have plenty of stone, though, so maybe somebody will come by and want to purchase some stone. I don't know. We could end up buying some steel off of them. I don't know which wastelanding faction would be foolish enough to give us steel for stone, but who knows? Maybe the Enclave or somebody are erecting a new fortress or something. It's hard to say. But yeah, I think next episode, that's exactly what we'll be doing, is shutting our doors and just breeding breeding the hell out of our populace. So yeah, I think that's where we're headed. We also have some areas like this, though, within the vault that I left like this, because I know that if I shut the doors, we're not going to be going outside very often. So I ended up putting these exterior walls here. That way we can kind of cap off and square off our growing room. That'll give us some stuff to work on in the next episode too. And then obviously, as we mentioned, all the mining and stuff. Either expanding. I don't know if we're going to expand our hospital, but I'm thinking that we might start like a pharmacy or something here. And even if we do end up expanding the hospital a little bit, we'll also have an area here where we can go about producing our own medicine. Luckily, we do have that already researched. But that's about it. We do have all of our pigs here who are inbreeding as well, I see. I think Sow 2, so Piglet 1 is the son. Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. Daughter is Sow 1 with... I don't know how to really even go through all these, but I know these pigs have to be inbred because... How is it possible, right? So, like, Pig 2... I'm sorry, wait. Who has a daughter? Which of you has a daughter? Okay, Sow 2 has a daughter, which is Sow 1, whose father is Pig 2. And Sow 1's mother is Sow 2, so they're siblings. So we definitely have plenty of inbred piggies going on. It's a bit harder. It doesn't show like it does for our vault dwellers, or that they're, like... lovers, nephew, cousin, all that together. So it makes it just a tiny bit harder than normal to go about making sure, like, or I guess try to figure out the relationship between them all. But yes, the vault is ready to close its doors at any moment's notice for security reasons. Or, of course, for next episode, as mentioned, when we just start breeding the hell out of all of them. And I love the idea of closing these vaults, too, because, of course, that's what it's designed for. We can really get a feel, and we can also see just how OP it really is in the wasteland to close the vaults. But also, I think that time, especially if we spend years, and I really do mean that I'm interested in spending years with the vault door closed, if possible. I think it's going to take a really long time to make the episode, but I think that they'll almost definitely get their very own culture to them here in Vault 15, even away from Vault 13, right? They'll have their own kind of subculture here, even though, of course, we're all from the same vault originally, except for our team here, our team that's definitely not treated any differently and are test subjects. But yes, that is the plan for next episode. But my little genetic weirdos, that will be next time. See you later. Hello there, Wastelander. My name is Nelly, and I am your overseer. Welcome to your new home, Vault 15. And you are a product of inbreeding. Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. Wait, you're not? Well, that's unusual because everyone else here is. I suppose you could be my special little helper and help me keep an eye on all these inbred freaks, because today we are sealing our vault forevermore. Well, maybe about a year. We have to open up at some point to do trading and adventuring, but we're going to be sealing indefinitely until we decide otherwise. And so begins our very first year with the vault sealed. To be honest with you, this in itself is honestly a pretty big experiment, as it's quite cool, at least even from a scientific purpose, I guess, just seeing how a population can thrive as well as grow with such a limited space, which is basically the entire premise behind why we're even inbreeding vault dwellers in the first place. Limited options, limited room, limited everything, resources, so on and so forth. So this is realistically a very crucial part of the entire thing. Not just because I want to seal them away and not have to fight raiders every few months. Now that our door has been sealed for quite some time, one of the first issues I notice arising right from the jump is that we don't have enough food realistically for the flock of inbred pigs. Well, we do, but, I mean, we can afford to feed them, but should we? We need their pure bloodline to continue for our research, and they're simply animals, so why not eat most, save on food and effort, and we can continue having inbred hog with 2 specific piggies. Have our cake and eat it too. Now, with the eldest pigs dead, the youngest and most inbred thus far can continue on and eat all the peppers that their little swine hearts can handle. After a few more days, we ended up having the first real threat that we would face after sealing our doors. It would seem that we have a massive pack of mutated man-hunting foxes. Not exactly the earth-shattering attack we had hoped to test our indestructible walls against, but I guess it'll do for now. Most of them actually just got killed by all those spike traps that we had built out of stone previously, so realistically there weren't that many left over to attack our walls nor our door. Let's just hope that something similar happens if the next pack of mutants are not tiny, ugly, glowing foxes. Indeed, we're all safe and sound. Now then, we'll be taking a page out of our home vault of 13's playbook by logging our inbred residents in their rooms so that they may go about breeding. Cruel? Hell no! Think of it kinda like a vacation, but you're only allowed to come home if you get pregnant. Okay, maybe a little cruel, but it is for science. Not to worry, I've even made it a little bit easier for them using the MRD Bedless Lovin' mod, which will allow them to breed standing up, sitting down, however they so choose. Even so, it would seem they're going the old-fashioned route of lovin' in the bed, and it wouldn't be long at all before both Cleopatra and Dolly were pregnant with their nieces and nephews or cousins, or I don't even know at this point. I'm not keeping track. I just know that the family tree looks more and more like a bush every second. And quite frankly, I'm tickled plumb pink about it. Some of you out there don't have the gall to go about doing what it takes for a patriotic America, but I am willing to kidnap and inbreed all the vault dwellers that I have to achieve a new America, a better America. I don't know what I'm monologuing about, although I do know we have our next actual serious threat since we have locked our vault. Indeed, we have quite the crisis at hand. Kind of. We have some rogue robots, such as Mr. Gutsy's Protectrons, and that's about it. No Assaultrons, no Sentry Bots, nothing all that concerning, just pounding on our door as well as our indestructible walls, so I think we'll be fine. We did have to do a little bit of repairing to our door to keep this Mr. Gutsy from breaking it open within the next several days, but eventually some wastelanders would come through and the two groups would end up killing one another. Honestly, it's very interesting because with all the gunfire and the screaming, blood-curdling wounds and everything, we couldn't hear anything on the inside of the vault. I think those rogue bots were a much better test of our defenses. It seems that our weakest point is indeed our door, which is also why we had built something of an airlock system to it, and why we had to repair it. We'll be fine. The next big issue that we would face was an internal one. It would seem that our toilets are all backed up. It probably has something to do with those robots destroying our drain pipe. Luckily, we already are aware of sewage and waste removal technology, allowing us to build a few septic tanks. We vault dwellers always pride ourselves on our preparedness as well as our resourcefulness. And with that, my friends, it has officially been 1 month since we have sealed our vault, which is a quarter of a year in-game, of course. Time flies when you're having fun and falling in love with your cousin, or so I hear. But I didn't want the entire episode just to be nothing but us sitting around and breeding all the time. No, besides, we have plenty of work to do. As you can see here in the southeastern part of the mountain, just below our hospital that we've recently built, we are going to be adding in an additional room or two. One where we'll be making medicine, and two where we'll be having some additional storage specifically for some of the supplies that we'll be making medicine with, as well as anything else, a bit of an overflow from our main storage facility. For Vault Tech Medicine, we need uranium, nutramine, herbal medicine, and cloth. Most of this we already have in spades, or we can grow, like cloth, all except for nutramine. To synthesize our own nutramine, though, we need synthread. To make synthread, we need chem fuel, something we also don't currently have. But if you think I'm going to open up my door early and expose our precious little inbred freak shows to the outside world, you are dead wrong. We are going to be using an additional third room here to go about biorefining our very own chem fuel to make our very own synthread. That's right, I told you we were resourceful, by golly. But Overseer Nelly, how are you going to do that? You don't have dead bodies, you don't have trees. Well, my ignorant friend, we are going to be using the power of rice to make chem fuel. Right from the jump, we would immediately start refining plenty of it from our piles upon piles of rice, and once that was completed, well, it was all just one big cinch. Quick and easy to make a shit ton of synthread. Synthread that we would use to finally finish up some of our very own Vault Tech certified and approved medicine. Might not seem important, but if we end up having some real genetic freaks, we might have to perform some surgeries. They might be getting sick all the time. God only knows. So I find that it's best to be overly prepared ahead of time. But of course, most of our day-to-day was nothing all that fancy. Making medicine, growing our crops, watching our little freaks breed, so on and so on, right? Nothing too special. There was some interesting stuff happening here, like everyone was getting food poisoning, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out as to why, because Thatcher, our best cook, has a cooking skill of 9. Very unusual. I don't really understand why that was happening, unfortunately. But if you ask me, I think it might just be divine punishment for our filthy sins against God and his creations. Yeah. Anywho, though, not really that big of a deal because, well, Farnsworth keeps the entire vault completely spotless. It's literally his only purpose in life, unless we need him to slice up the occasional raider. Also, it's been about half a year by this point that we've been sealed away in the vault, and maybe we're starting to go a little bit mad. Perhaps having 3 healthy babies will help us stay sane, though. 3 babies, not 4 babies. Keep that in mind. Currently, we have Austin and Earl, who are the children of Cleopatra, and we have Rip, who is the child of Dolly. We'll change their shitty little names later on, those stupid names that their parents gave them. Yeah, okay. We wasted absolutely no time putting all 3 of these little babies into their growth vats. That way, within the next few weeks, we'll have a few adults ready for our experimentation. I'll honestly be quite interested to see what type of maybe medical issues they have or traits that they develop because they are severely inbred by this point. It should also be noted this is the first time that we've ran 3 of our growth acceleration vats all at the same time, which is extremely power costly, but also, much more importantly, food costly. Because food is something we don't exactly have a surplus of, as I mentioned earlier on, with limited resources, limited space, stuff like that. Sure, we're growing plenty of food and we have a lot in the stockpile, but how long is that going to last when we're literally growing 3 children from babies to adults within a very short period of time? Not very long, I would say. So we are going to be remedying this issue with a bit of expansion into our growing area and or greenhouse zone here in the vault. As we well know, last episode I had actually extended our indestructible exterior plating quite a bit out this ways to the northwest, specifically for this purpose, as we were accounting for it. Remember what I said, our preparedness and resourcefulness. Obviously, most of what we're going to be growing in this new area is going to be rice and potatoes, some of the faster growing crops. And thanks to our new addition to our greenhouse zone, I think we'll be able to handle all three of those vats as well as feeding our populace with minimal issues. Now then, as we are growing our 3 children, who are growing very quickly, might I just say, I noticed that Cleopatra was once again pregnant. It would seem we'll have a new baby to grow and use as a test subject very soon. However, Earl is still in the bassinet. I don't really understand this because we put Earl in a growth acceleration vat not too long ago, and you saw we only had 3 babies, but apparently we have 4? I genuinely thought I was losing my mind at this point, I'm not kidding. But perhaps maybe we just overlooked a baby. I'm not exactly sure. I don't really know how that would be possible, but I think things are hunky-dory. Being locked in here with these inbred freaks definitely isn't driving me insane. How about a little bit of research, this time into blowback operations and then ultimately into gun turrets? I realize this might not seem necessary since our walls are defending us quite well, but if we have another rambunctious Mr. Gutsy, I would prefer that it be blasted down instead of us having to run to the door to try to repair it as quickly as possible. And I think gun turrets could definitely help us in that regard. We also ended up building some washing machines, which are long overdue, as I've been talking about them for quite some time. These will allow us to wash tainted clothing, as well as, most importantly, armor. That way nobody gets a debuff from wearing them. We would immediately throw in the American winterized armor from the pre-war days that we got off of a filthy raider. Or settler. I can't remember. Seems like it's been an eternity. We ever so quickly finished up our research into gun turrets though, and they'll be ready to be built, well, once we get some resources, and once the year has been up and we're ready to send out some of our folks into the waste. Our next research project is going to be hydroponics. Now, you might be wondering as to why, since we have a greenhouse full of planter boxes. Well, not only are hydroponics much faster at growing crops, but we also can't grow hay with the mods that we're currently using with planter boxes. No idea as to why, but it is also a prerequisite into the high-tech hydroponics that Vault-Tech allows as well, so plenty of reasons to finish that up. All that being said, and it would seem that our 3 new test subjects have finally grown into adults. Welcome Missy, Sass, and Pex. Those are horrific names. How about Maria, Rudolph, and Charles? After some other famous people, you could say. Some with very similar genetic outcomes, you could say. And a heavy, passionate love for their family members. Maybe a little too much. These names, as well as the name of this vault's experimentation and project from our good friend Bruno Limmer. Indeed, Vault 15's experiment will henceforth be known as the Habsburg Project, as well as its purpose, mission, so on and so forth. God bless America. And as our friend points out, our new companions of incestuous ancestry are going to be treated as royalty, or at least that's how we'll be educating them that they're being treated as, if that makes sense. You know, propaganda type shit. Anyways, on to the science. Okay, so we have Maria, Rudolph, and Charles. I want to take a look at some of their traits and their health. So Maria's fine for health. Traits: an industrious, eccentric, and kind person. Maria! Step forward, Maria. Not too bad for a inbred wastelander vault dweller. Dang! Perhaps inbreeding is a... maybe it's gonna be our superpower, who knows? Alright, Rudolph. Oh, so you have asthma in both of your lungs. That could be common. That might not be anything due to inbreeding. Yeah, maybe it's just, you know. You're a sickly psychopath. Yeah, alright, well, Rudolph, I guess you could step forward too. starting to see some traits that are maybe, you know, a little more interesting. So Charles, we have, Charles is blind in both of his eyes. Hey, maybe that's not from inbreeding. Maybe that's just, you know, I don't know. Oh, shit. Charles is blind? Zero sight. Completely blind. Okay. Oh, and he is a bloodlusting masochist. Whew, Charles, step forward. Wow. All right. Okay. Now, normally I would say, well, more research is needed to conduct, you know, yeah. I will say, I think the research is pretty conclusive with those two. We'll continue inbreeding to see, but I think we're starting to see more of the interesting side effects of inbreeding. I also know I've been narrating over everything for quite a bit of time. We're almost at 3/4 of a year, by the way, so we're coming up on our first year after sealing the doors. We've had quite a few threats, not all of which obviously I've shown. We had some manhunting California grizzlies, of course, those radioactive foxes, mechanoids. We've had a bunch of stuff. We also have a crow. I think we had a, what was it? Something, we had a crow and something else self-tame, and our other thing got killed by raiders who left after pounding on our walls, just like all the others. Oh, we need to fix this. I've gotten a bunch of our sun lamps, so we have basically this entire room. I know it's hideous. It really is hideous. I like to think of the beauty, though, to folks of a wasteland walking in here and seeing all these growing plants. But I've added in some of these wall sun lamps. That way we're literally covering the entire place, and we're growing a shit ton of food. Even so, our pigs, I'm really struggling to feed our pigs. That's why I'm happy to be getting hydroponics done. That way we can actually grow some pig food, say, like, right in here. I think that'll be a lot better. I think, as we're coming up on a year, we're gonna need some more uranium, right? Oh, no. How much we've got? Look at this. We've got a shit ton of uranium still. Oh, we're golden. No worries. We're completely golden. But things are pretty good. Like I said, we're coming up near a year, so I guess we'll be hitting that pretty soon. I'm gonna let them start doing some more breeding, and hopefully they start finding some more mates, our newer people here, like Charles and Rudolph. Perhaps we could try to guide them into that direction. I don't know, but that's something I think we should try to do. That way we get the optimal results, right? As you can see, we have father, cousin, Steroid. I don't know why Steroid's first name is still Baby. I need to give Steroid a Habsburg dynasty name too. And then we have the mother, who is also the grand aunt, Dolly. Shit's getting a little bit weird, and I, for one, am okay with it, I guess. I've mostly been doing a lot of watching, though. I don't want to keep doing that. I actually want to start building some more stuff, because I feel like especially things like this, like we have our tailoring bench, we have our stone cutting table, which nobody's doing a lot of stone cutting, as you can see. All the mining that we did southeastern area here of the mountain, we're actually storing that in our hallway, which isn't good for, you know, beauty, I guess you would say. But I don't know. We need, I think, after the first year, I'll send somebody out. I'd like to try and send somebody out, or somehow to get the Assaultron head, so we can start making progress towards actually getting the Sentry bot back online. But that's something we'll be worrying about in a little bit of time. As for right now, we're basically breeding an inbred army, which could be fun for a title. It wouldn't be long at all before we finished up our research into hydroponics, and then immediately started working on Vault-Tec high-tech hydroponics as well. As mentioned, this is just going to give us a high-tech hydroponics basin that is Vault-Tec certified and approved to grow crops much faster. I thought I'd just go ahead and cut out the middleman and throw them right here in the pig pen for our little inbred hogs to enjoy. We're gonna start growing them some hay grass, much more efficient than feeding them our delicious spicy peppers. Although I must say, I doubt that their inbred meat is going to taste all that seasoned now, but oh well. Perhaps their disgusting, incestuous habits will give them all the flavor we need. Speaking of disgusting, incestuous habits, we have two new lovers finally. It would seem that Charles and Rudolph are hitting things off by describing one another as poison flowers. Amen. Well, congratulations, you two. I'm happy for you, I suppose, although that does mean it's time for you to start making some more test subjects for us, please. Real quick before they start doing that, let's take a look at some of these relationships. We have Rudolph, who is Charles' lover, aunt, and cousin. I mean, I would say not too bad, but obviously not great. And then we have, Charles being her lover, nephew, cousin once removed, and second cousin. Alright then. Well, since the two of them have decided to begin dating, I have decided to lock them in their room with a few days worth of food until they decide to do a little bit of breeding, which, funny enough, they would actually attend to shortly thereafter. Awful kind of them. And it wouldn't be long at all before Rudolph was pregnant. Funny enough, this is going to be our most inbred test subject to date. I guess that's pretty incredible. Our vault door ended up breaking down as well, which wasn't really that big of a concern because, well, we didn't plan on going outside anytime soon, but if we were to need to in the event of an emergency, we wouldn't be able to very quickly, so we decided to fix it. I only bring it up because proper maintenance is also something to keep in mind when one worries about sealing a community inside of a mountain. Not too long thereafter, we also finished our research into Voltaic high-tech hydroponics basins as well, and we would waste no time building a few of them. The thing is, we have to use plasteel and advanced components for this, so they're a real bitch to build. We only ended up constructing 5, just barely keeping a little bit of plasteel for, well, any emergency use, I guess you'd say. But I will tell you that these high-tech hydroponics basins are well worth the cost, even if we can't afford them, really. Whereas with a normal planter box, I think the growth rate is around about 93% or something like that. With these high-tech hydroponics basins, we have a growth rate of 250%, which is pretty darn incredible if I do say so myself. If we could manage to somehow get this entire greenhouse filled out with these, we'd really be cooking. But that's quite a ways off. Everything is going so well. I suppose I could enjoy a nice movie night with my lady. I really love this film. Did you? Never mind. I thought you had said something, sweetie. Must just be in my head. Well, in better news, it would seem that Charles and Rudolph are going to get married in the upcoming months. That's pretty cool. Oh, yes, and we also have Prissy, who was going by the name of Earl previously, who is finally an adult and out of her growth vat chamber. Sticking with our naming system of the Habsburg dynasty, I would also end up naming her Maximilian. She ended up without any health complications, but is a simple-minded, volatile, fast walker. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. But with that, my friends, we have had our vault sealed for 1 entire year, collecting invaluable data on having such a small populace with such limited circumstances and choices, and that is, of course, putting it very lightly. Now, we don't plan on opening our vault up to the world, or even for all of us to go out. However, we have assembled a team that will be taking on a few tasks for us. It is going to be made up of Thatcher, because he's a decent shot, and Maximilian and Steroid, because they're my least favorite, and just based on stats and traits and things like that, they are who I find to be most expendable. Their first most honorable mission for America: acquire, rescue, and bring inside our pet crow that joined us over 1 year of ensealment. A complete and utter success, might I add. This handsome little critter has somehow survived off eating half-rotten corpses and hiding from threats among the nuclear waste. So I suppose he truly is our pet now. If you folks have a name for him, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you in advance. For their next mission, they're going to be headed out into the wasteland. For that, they'll need some armor. Just as well, plenty of firepower. And honestly, even with all this, we are still very much underprepared for what is to come. You see, we are here in the northwest, but we need to make it here to the southeast, to an ancient pre-war Robco facility. Well then, what more is there to discuss? Nothing, if you ask me, so we would send out our little A-team, if you could call them that, I guess, to take on this ancient Robco facility and to search for the Assaultron head that we need so we can further our research and eventually bring our Century bot back online. Oh, yeah, I also forgot to mention that as they were leaving for their epic journey that they totally won't die on, that Cleopatra ended up having her other child, and we shoved them into a growth vat. Not all that important, but I just wanted to mention it. And look, they're finally arriving at the ancient facility as we had planned. As we arrived, the facility looked about the same as all the others that we were aware of, except there was a great big pile of corpses out in front of it. I know what you're thinking. Well, that doesn't seem all that different. Well, normally I would agree, but this just so happened to be some large animals like rad scorpions, as well as a large pile of deceased super mutants. Now, what do you know that's big enough to kill all these creatures? Yeah, me either. We are well prepared. Well, saying well prepared is a massive overstatement, but we are somewhat prepared for what is to come, I think, within this building, I hope. I will say, as we move a little bit closer, as you can see, we have raids coming in about 3 days. Not that we plan on being here for that long, but we probably should be ready for that. It looks like some raiders are moving towards this area. Perhaps we got a little bit of intelligence from the Enclave. Let's move up this way. I think I'm going to come in from this side of the building. Looks like we should be able to just go in pretty easily. This is a huge field of corpses. We have a pipe shotgun and a pipe pistol here. Cool, I guess. Anything else of interest? I don't think so, except for a whole bunch of corpses. Now, if you listen, let's be very quiet and use our listening skills here. Hear that? Something is inside. Something is opening doors inside the building. I do hear it. Hope to God it's not a Deathclaw. We'll let Thatcher take the lead. Don't see anything in this room. We need to be very careful. Okay, this is outside. I hear a lot of doors moving. Oh, a Saltron head. That is exactly what we came here for, actually. Okay, cool. That's exactly what we wanted. That's awesome. We could leave. However, let's take a look at our research. So for advanced general atomic cybernetics here, we need, as you can see, the scrap assaultron head. However, for secret General Atomics documents, we're going to need the depleted Sentry Bot fusion core. And this is going to allow us to go about resurrecting Sentry Bots or building our own, which is exactly what we need. So, I don't know, should we... There's something here. I don't know what it is. Could just be Protectrons, but I don't hear any talking, so I don't know. Normally, Protectrons, Assaultron stuff, they'll start making some noise. You know, they kind of have their little catchphrases built in, so I don't know, I don't hear anything. I hear doors, but I hear nothing else. We should maybe keep looking. We could find the fusion core as well that we need. Oh my word. Well, we don't have a depleted Sentry Bot fusion core, but we do have a Sentry Bot. I wonder if we kill it. Oh shit, Thatcher is already trying to take a shot. If we kill it, would we be able to get the fusion core? It doesn't seem like it's noticed us yet. Let's send Maximilian and Steroid down here. We'll take cover behind these walls. Let's see if we can kill it. Hello, Sentry Bot. Hello. Oh, there's a Protectron. Oh, I didn't think it. Okay. I don't know why. I was gonna say I didn't think it noticed us. I don't know why I would have thought that we're shooting at it. It noticed us. It noticed us. Please, both of you come down here. Oh my god, Maximilian. Whew. Torso twice, left arm, right lung, left kidney. Holy shit, that's bad. That's so bad. Oh god, and the Protectron's already shooting at us as well. Oh geez, that's bad. That's really bad. Now I will say, thankfully, Maximilian has... Oh, great. Psycho and Stim Packs. Okay, first and foremost, Stim Pack, go. Okay. Oh shit, we dropped our Stim Packs. That's alright, that's alright. Inject Psycho. Please, just inject it. Stop moving. Steroid. Inject Psycho. Inject Psycho quickly. Alright, we've taken Psycho, and that should, let's see, high on Psycho, I forget exactly. We have a boost to consciousness, moving, blood pumping, melee damage, range cooldown multiplier. So, shooting accuracy, everything is up. We're looking good. Let's see if we can kill these bastards. We also have some jet if we need it. Whew. Oh, Thatcher's starting to get hit. I'm gonna bring Thatcher down here. Oh my god. Okay. Thatcher, inject a Stim Pack. Great. Help us out with killing this stupid Protectron. And then we'll all three take on that Sentry Bot. Assuming they're... Oh god, is he... He's coming down this way. The Sentry Bot is coming. Oh god. Please, rip him apart, please. I'm begging you. Okay, he's coming back out this way, though. I think... Oh, thank God. Thank God. Okay, a lot of noise there. We killed the Protectron. Maximilian's fine. Thatcher is now fine, thanks to our stim packs. Thatcher, inhale some jet. I think that should give us a bit of a boost. Let's see. Increase consciousness, melee cooldown, melee hit chance, range cooldown, and shooting accuracy is insane. Shooting accuracy is 150%. That's incredible. Incredible. A drug empire in the Fallout universe would also be incredible, would it not? Holy, that's really good. Let's inhale some more jet. We're gonna do a lot of drugs so we can kill this bad boy. Oh, that's not good. I accidentally... Oh, that's not good. I accidentally caused Steroid to have an overdose. Well, overdosing or not, Steroid, I need your help. I'm gonna bring you down this way, and you are gonna pop out right there. Thatcher up there, Maximilian right here, and we're gonna kill this son of a bitch. We still have to be very careful. Alright, alright. Thatcher... Whew, is taking a beating. Okay. Alright, alright, we're handling it, kinda. It's... I don't know. Come on, kill it. Kill it. Thatcher is taking some hits. We've got a lot of bruises, though, mostly, thankfully. Okay. Oh, no! Steroid is puking! Oh god, thank god it's not focused on him. Steroid is vomiting from his overdose. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Thatcher's... Okay, let's take a second. Bring Thatcher down to inject another stim pack. I'm afraid we're going to lose him otherwise. Oh god, don't focus on Steroid though. Steroid, please come in. Thatcher now is healing. I'm gonna send Steroid up here. We might be able to cheese this fight pretty good. Maximilian's very injured though. God, he's so loud. Inject a stim pack, Maximilian. We only have 2 left. Oh god, somebody help us. Help us. Kill him. Somebody kill that big bastard, please. Oh, the sentry bot is an absolute tank. Absolute tank. Thank God. Thank God we beat it. And depleted sentry bot fusion core. Holy shit. That was rough. Anything else in here? No. Only 1 Protectron and 1 sentry bot. I'm guessing the sentry bot is what has murdered all of these creatures. We have a depleted core. That's great. That's absolutely amazing. Holy. We need to make sure we take our stim packs and our herbal meds. Steroid, you're still overdosing. I think you'll be fine. If you start to like drown on your vomit, we'll take care of you. But I think we are good to go. Guess we could. I think we might be able to carry back the sentry bot too, but we might be able to take back the sentry bot as well as everything else that we've collected. I think, yeah, we've gotten everything that might be useful, so we should probably head back home. And so we would, but of course the journey takes just over 5 days, having to trek back all around the mountains here, all the way back home. So, in the meantime, how about we get back to back home? Now that we've unsealed the vault, for the time being, only to make necessary repairs and what have you, we're actually going to begin on some of those repairs, with that being into our embrasures, replacing the steel ones with slate ones, as we have an overabundance of stone at the moment. Consider it a byproduct of us being stuck inside for so long, of course, but we would also end up building ourselves some simple gun turrets to help us defend the perimeter, as we had previously discussed as well. Obviously, these are going to be sacrificed to whatever attack comes our way, but hopefully they'll also prevent us from having some unnecessary damage that has to be repaired constantly to the vault door until said threat runs away. Speaking of unnecessary damage, this part is going to take quite a while, repairing our walls on the exterior part, which have been severely damaged. Not so much, in fact, that they're going to collapse or be destroyed anytime soon, but still heavily dented nonetheless. As many of our dwellers are repairing our exterior plated walls, we also have Rudolph, who is in excruciating pain, giving birth to her child cousin child, who unfortunately seems to be quite sick with a common infant illness, a formality at this point, I'm afraid. Since this illness seems to be quite common with our little inbred dwellers when they're first born, that only means that we are that much better at tending to them and treating this illness. And just like that young ace, who definitely needs a better name as soon as we make sure they survive their growth acceleration, is, well, in a growth acceleration bath. And we can really get a much clearer look at just how tangled of a mess this family tree is becoming. Shifting gears a bit, I also noticed that our pig pen was getting unbearably hot, and I had no idea as to why, and then I remembered, oh yeah, this gigantic reactor room stuffed to the brim with atomic reactors might be heating it up a little bit. As a matter of fact, it's getting pretty close to 200 degrees Fahrenheit itself, so we need to fix it. Now that being said, the vault itself, the living space, the kitchens, the bathrooms, everything gets a little bit too cold, especially during wintertime being under the mountain. We have been using an industrial heater to heat the entire place, but since we're going to be cooling the reactor room, we might as well use the exhaust to heat the rest of the vault. It really fits with the UVA's idea of self-sufficiency within these vaulted communities. And before we seal the vault once more, I don't want to forget about the weapons as well as the rogue robots that had come with one of the attacks as we were sealed up over the past year. And so we are going to be hauling all of those things back to our home. Even the cyborg dog, which has somehow not rotted by this point. I guess it's more machine than canine. And with that, our little adventurous crew has finally returned home in one piece. Imagine our surprise seeing that all three of them were still alive as they came into the laboratory to drop off the Assaultron head, depleted fusion core, and the Sentry bot. Alive and with a vast fortune of goodies they found, eh? We'll finally be able to start our advanced research and create our own robotic defense force. But that'll be next time. I'll see you. Hey, why do my teeth feel loose? Sorry, I'll see you later. Hey there, Vault Dweller. Finally, we meet at last. I'm your overseer, Nelly. Oh, don't mind that. That's normal. It happens sometimes. Welcome to Vault 15, your sheltered sanctuary away from the hellish wasteland outside, where one can truly love thy brother in more ways than one. In case you're unfamiliar, our experiment here is inbreeding our populace. But other than that, it is the happiest place on... Oh god. Alright, let's just start the video. We're still currently repairing the exterior hull of our vault after sealing it for 1 year and solely focusing on a lot, and I do mean a lot, of inbreeding, which was totally great, within the context of science, of course. But we're no longer going to be focusing on repairing the plating of the vault, as we need to shift that focus over to mining steel. A shit ton of steel. Basically all the steel that we have left within the region. As you can see, the reason for that is because we have a pretty big project today. We are going to be reviving some of the sentry bots as well as other robots within our vault that we've taken from previous attacks and adventures, and we are also going to be creating many of our own. Previously, we had sent out a little search party to an ancient Robco facility where we found a scrap Assaultron head, which we are currently analyzing, as well as a depleted fusion core, which we would do the same with. Now, analyzing these two special items would give us access to researches such as Advanced General Atomics, Cybernetics, and Secret General Atomics design documents. The only thing at the moment that is preventing us from starting on these researches is the fact that we do not have a multi-analyzer and will need to construct one first. Why, I was eager and chipper to go ahead and build one, but we don't have any gold. Damn, I knew I forgot to collect something this whole time. Luckily, we've been into contact with the overseer of Vault 13, and he has been in contact with some of the Enclave's operatives who let us know about an ancient quarry site that might just have exactly what we're looking for. Yes, come in. I've called you all here today for yet another mission. Operation Gold Retrieval. I'll mark it on your map. Good luck out there. With our little adventuring team, we are also going to be sending off the last of our pharmaceuticals, Stimpaks, Jet, and Rataway. Needless to say, they've also been instructed to look for some of these items while they're out. And with that, our little squad of inbred killers was off and over, headed towards the ancient quarry site, in search of our gold. Though since the journey takes about 4.5 days, we've got a lot of time to kill and a lot of work to do back at our home vault, such as beginning research into advanced pharmaceuticals. Needless to say, but I'll say it anyways, this is going to allow us to go about creating many of those aid consumables, such as Stimpaks and Jet, back at the vault itself, instead of just having to find them out in the wasteland. Much more convenient. I, as the overseer, along with Shirley, one of our newer vault members, who is not inbred nor a inbred test subject of the vault, would immediately begin working on this crucial research. All the while, we have a couple of those inbred test subjects' babies growing in their test tubes. Their growth accelerated 100 times over. Maybe more. I'm not good at math. With our intellect, our great big old vault dweller brains of pure human descent, might I add, we quickly finished up our desired research into advanced pharmaceuticals. By the time that was over with, it was Christmas! Huzzah! Happy merry holiday! We would all celebrate and hang up some nice lights, putting up beautiful Christmas trees, and I began teaching all our inbred vault dwellers what Christmas was really about. I know what you're thinking, but Overseer Nelly, Christmas? It's July. Oh, that's a great eye on you there, Scooter. Well, you see, the world ended, so nobody really knows when it was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? And these vault dwellers really need something to celebrate right now before they go mutinous. I can hear them talking about me in my sleep. I can hear them saying things through the walls. Oh, would you look at that? Looks like our little search party has finally arrived at the ancient quarry. The place appears to be deserted of all life. We'll be the judges of that. We've got a bit of a dry thunderstorm here. I'm seeing some lightning striking already. Let's see. What have we here in the quarry? I guess this would have been where the actual operating facility of the quarry would have been. I notice utilitron, well, one utilitron. We've got some steel, we've got some components, a ham radio, tool. We don't have much going on here. There's mining charges, and we've got corpses with, looks like nothing on them. That's a shame. I don't see any gold here. Let's take a look around. There's a Brahmin. We've got ancient excavators. We've got a bunch of ancient work sites, but I don't see any gold ore. Let me just type it in. There we go. Go. Oh, hello there. Oh, who is this? Raiders? No, that's not Raiders. That's, oh shit, the Legion. Oh, I've seen some passing, like visitors and stuff out this way, occasionally going by Vault 15, but I've yet to actually see a proper party of them. What kind of weapons do they have? Some type of shotgun. They've got some bladed weaponry, bolt action rifles. That seems about right. How many of them are there? 10 of them, and there's 5 of us. Well, I don't know. They are right at our gold, though. Unless we wanted to mine around, which I think that would be a silly idea, we will have to go through them. Damn. I think we can take them. Most of their units are melee, so I think we can handle them. Even so, we need to figure out a good way to handle them. Now, I will say the obvious solution, I think, lies before us with all these mining charges. We gotta be quite careful, though. I don't want the gold actually destroyed, and there's a great big mining charge right here that will almost definitely hit the ore. I don't think it's going to destroy it. Maybe that little one would contribute to that. We'll have to see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Careful. We're going through these caves for some reason? Okay, well, look. If we're gonna go through these caves, why don't we put some mining charges here, like this, and we could probably sabotage them a bit here, right? That's what I would think. We'll be able to blast their asses as they're coming this way. Now, the flip side of that is going to be accidentally getting hit by our own charges, which is something I'd like to avoid, if at all possible. I'd also like to avoid getting caught in general here by the Legion with our pants down, though they don't seem to have vision or a line of sight through this area. We gotta be careful here. here. We're gonna get caught. Luckily, too, though, I will say, I think a lot of the noise that we're making here that might cause a bit of a disturbance is being masked by the thunderstorm. So perhaps it's a good thing that the thunderstorm is here. I forgot that glowstool, this odd fungus here, is edible. We don't seem to have any additional food, so Ferdinand, if you would like, I could allow you to eat this. I'm actually going to let everyone take a quick little snooze, I think, because they are exhausted from their journey. We have plenty of time to attack our enemies, so we'll let some of our people nap here, and even have a bite of raw fungi. We don't want anyone starving. That would be the complete opposite of what we'd want. I guess we've ran out of our Vault-Tec meals just before getting here. Alright everyone, I can't let you nap for too long. They might become up to speed on exactly what we're doing here, or even the fact that we are here, which would not be great. So, we also have stim packs, and we have jet, and we have everything, and I'm not going to use that right away. I do wonder, who has the best ranged weapon? Probably Thatcher, and he's a really good shot. Could Thatcher sneak around here without getting caught, hopefully, and Thatcher should have a line of sight with his rifle. Oh, wow. He can hit that mining charge if we get him in the right area here. So maybe here? Oh, come on, Thatcher. Come on. I'm trying to... Oh, shit. They've spotted us. I'm trying to sneak him in here. I don't think he can hit that mining charge from here. Oh, it's this little lip of the mountain here that's in our way. We can't see because of it. I'll see if I can lead them this way with Thatcher. We might be able to. We'll definitely be able to bring a few of them, like this idiot, this way. Wait a minute. No, wait, where are you going? Come back. No, come back. I thought we have let him out. Okay. Oh, shit. All right, so I've got Ferdinand over here, who's not a good shot, but might just be able to hit that mining charge. Oh, come. No, Ferdinand, no. No, 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 no. Go, go, go. Quickly inhale some jet. Okay, now you should be faster, I think. This could be the perfect opportunity while they're distracted for us to move in. If they're not going to come this way where we can detonate these charges, we're going to have to move in on them. Ferdinand, oh shit. Ferdinand, go. Go, go, go. All right, stim pack. Stim pack. I did bring a special weapon along just in case we needed it. Here we go. Oh, Ferdinand, please. Oh, God. And what's going on over here? Okay, we're starting to kill some of them. Ferdinand, did okay. He did okay. He is... Oh, his left eye is gone. Oh, he's regenning, though, from stim pack, so he'll be standing in a second. I don't want to take too much focus away from him. But we are starting to kill... Oh, this is a slave, isn't it? We probably shouldn't be trying to kill the slaves, most likely. I would think. That seems like probably something we wouldn't want to do. So let's try not to kill... What just happened? Oh my God, Clementine. Clementine, no! Oh, God. What just happened? Oh, shot in the liver. Oh, good Lord. Clementine, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, that's insane. We've got a damn eagle-eyed marksman up here. That's crazy. Immediately, everyone get the hell out of there ASAP. Right now, immediately. Please, for the love of God. Shoot these sons of bitches if you can. Kill these slaves. Oh God, but be careful around these. Let's go with melee combat against the slaves. I don't want them blowing up our explosives. And here I was considering not killing the slaves. What a stupid move. Where are you going, you coward? Oh, poor Clementine. Here I was thinking we shouldn't kill the slaves. They're the ones that are holding us so that they could shoot us. These inbred folks, you see, they have a little something called empathy. And it almost got most of them killed, and it did get one of them killed. Ferdinand, however, is back on 2 feet, which is good news. Let's see if he can quickly grab up some stuff here for us before getting shot again. Quickly, Ferdinand, quickly. Ever so quickly. Come back around this way. We've got more of them coming. We've got Ferdinand coming with us this time. And Lee grabbed his rifle. Move out of the way, Lee. Let's see if we can just completely pull back. How many of them are coming? Only a few. It's not worth You know what? Should we just blow the explosives? I have no idea. There's not enough of them, but I don't care. Bye-bye, dickhead. And we had to shoot them anyways. Here we go. All right, then. We completely fudged our initial plan. Whatever. Regroup. Poor Clementine. Even if we had our stim packs with us immediately at that time, that wouldn't have, like, saved us. It definitely wouldn't have saved us, but it would have been nice. So Lee is slightly injured. Inject a stim pack, Lee. Thatcher only has a bruise, so let's have him inhale some jet. You don't need to tend to yourself, Lee. Those stim packs are gonna heal you. And I'm gonna let Thatcher pick up one stim pack, and I'm also gonna let Maximilian pick up one stim pack. And this way, those two have one of their own each. The only person who doesn't have one is Ferdinand, who I thought was still healing, but is not. Lee is the closest thing to a doctor that we have out here, so I'm gonna tend to Ferdinand, as he has quite a few cuts, one on the leg and one on the torso, and his left eye, which again has been shot out by Walter. Oh, Walter, you son of a bitch. We haven't killed you yet, have we? No. There you are. An eye for an eye, Walter. You and your shotgun. We're gonna come for you, you piece of shit. We've got 7 of them left. We've only managed to take out 3. Oh, this is gonna be a rough one, but we're gonna tend to Ferdinand real quick, and then we will be back in this tunnel. I need to try to make it to those grenades. So let's see if we can get to the grenades that Clementine had. Those will help us out exponentially so with blowing some of this shit up. Oh, we're gonna lose our flamer because it's on fire, and we're gonna lose our rat away. The flamer, I'm not too sad about, because we weren't very good with it, as you could see. We used it a little bit too close, I think. But, yeah. We also have the thunderstorm going away, which is okay, I guess. We'll be able to pay more attention to their movements, maybe as they come through the cave, and be able to hear them a bit better. Who knows? I think we're finally ready. I'm sending everyone up. Thatcher is going to get up close and personal. He has a stim pack, so keep that in mind. Immediately, I want him to start shooting at this damn explosives crate. Come on. Here we go. Oh, yes. All right, take a second, because Lee also picked up those grenades. Let's bring him back into the fold. Ferdinand, actually, let's bring everyone back again, and let's see what kind of destruction happens here. It's gonna take a second for it to blow, but I wonder if we'll be able to hit any of them with it. Maybe not. Nope, but we sure collapsed the roof, and we did hit the gold, but we have some gold now. We almost collapsed the roof on this gentleman's head, but we didn't. We do have some of the recruits and legionaries, I guess, coming this way, or not. Let's come over here. Open fire. Immediately open fire. Ah, you damn bastards. So again, we're gonna have to come into the foxhole to try to draw the foxes out. They refuse. Oh my lord. Most of them, thankfully, though, are melee units. Start pulling back a bit. Bastard. Use the auto cutter on these bastards. Alright, since we're going in for the melee, we might as well go all out. There we go. Send Thatcher and them in. Walter, you son of a bitch. We see you, Walter, you dirty bastard. I am gonna take your head for what you did. Chuck a grenade up here. Alright, Maximilian, move. Auto cutter. On the way. Hello, Will. Let me introduce you to my saw. There we go. Oh, and they're fleeing? To make the Legion flee, it's not an easy task. Alright, move in! Everyone move in! Clear out, you cowardly bastards! Oh, good heavens. That was a very intense fight. Perhaps the most intense fight since we've established Vault 15. We've got some of these legionaries. I have no interest in their dog shit armor. I am gonna start giving our people some stim packs, though. I think we'll be fine. Everyone should be healing up. Yes, indeed, indeed. Oh, wowza, that was a rough one. Indeed, that was a rough one. We'll claim all their shit, I guess. We'll probably be here at least for a hot minute. Let's set up a zone so that nobody goes anywhere. I'm gonna put everybody on zone 1. Now, rest, eat, whatever you gotta do, but let's collect that gold so we can get the hell out of here. That's the biggest thing right now, is getting the gold. Is the whole reason we're here. Unfortunately, it is also the whole reason that poor Clementine lost her life. Again, as I mentioned, you know, our inbred folk are expendable, but that doesn't mean that everyone isn't going to be saddened by what just occurred here. Since it seems like the gold is going to be done pretty quickly, we'll go ahead and start deconstructing these tents. At the very least, we could take these materials, I suppose. That's gonna be more than enough gold for a multi-analyzer. There's nothing else here, no other legionaries, I hope. No slaves, no nothing like that. Alright, 180 gold. We need to load that up. I think Walter there, that son of a bitch. I didn't even notice he was one of the cowards that ended up getting away there. Of course he is. Oh, of course he is. How funny that is. Well, what a shame, because you sons of bitches are left here with us. And we're all out of that empathy that we had earlier, I'm afraid, gentlemen. All we have now is, well, now we have our revenge, I'd say, don't we? Let's go home. And so we would, with our revenge, a few items, our gold, and, most importantly now, our deceased Clementine in tow. Now then, it would seem that our incestuous hogs have had yet another baby. Finally. It took them ages to finally have another, which happens to be highly unusual for this lot. Ladies and ghouls, I introduce to you the most inbred pig in the entire wasteland. Several generations of family loving have all come together to create this little genetically freakish cutie patootie. Oh, it's sterile. That's not good. For the pigs, at least. As for us, that is some crucial research. Oh, sorry, yeah, the Vault Dwellers seem to think that Christmas is a month long. I think they got a few holidays mixed up from the pre-war era. Yeah, more celebration for everyone, whatever makes my skin stop itching. Moving right along, though, we are going to be building our very own electric drug lab. As we mentioned before, we do now have the research that will allow us to create our own pharmaceuticals, such as stim packs. Although, as you can see, they require human meat. Not sure when we'll be able to make these, so we might be better off finding those out in the wasteland or upon the corpses of our enemies. However, I think we should be able to make some jet pretty easy, as it only requires Nutramine and Flake, two things we can easily make. Flake, of course, just requires some psychoid leaves, which is something that we can grow with some new hydroponics basins. These are going to grow the psychoid leaves much faster than our other crops that we eat. We do have to be quite careful, though, with how much jet we're giving out to our dwellers, as we only want to use it for combat. We don't want them addicted. I don't need this to be some type of fancy jet den. Now, moving right along, last episode, I did mention while we had sealed ourselves in our vault for that year, we all kept catching food poisoning, and I had no clue why. Well, turns out a dirty little robot has been sticking his metal pinchers into the frying pan. In all seriousness, though, I forgot that the model that Farnsworth is will also attempt to do cooking, and I had gotten so used to watching him sweep the floors, I hadn't seen him go in for a little midnight frying of steaks and what have you. And here I thought we might have started getting radiation poisoning. Wouldn't that just be silly? Anywho, I also asked you guys last episode to provide me with a wonderful name for our wonderful little crow that managed to survive in the wasteland all by himself for an entire year. And, of course, we have the name of Poe. This fitting name suggestion comes from our friend Nerium Olander-I3Z. With the reasoning being, of course, because Edgar Allan Poe had married his young cousin, unfortunately. But this is actually very fitting as well, not only because it is a crow, our new pet, but also this seems like something that the Vault Dwellers would probably know about, given that they have a good education and they would be educated on ancient literatures, what would be considered ancient by their time, I'd say. And with all that being said, our caravan of adventurers has finally returned home, quickly coming into their home vault and dropping off everything that they achieved and acquired on their adventure, including quite a few mining charges along with that gold. Perhaps we'll find some use for them. But now that they're back, we have a complex issue. We must decide what to do with our poor, sweet soul Clementine. A true vault dweller, regardless of her origins in the wasteland, might I add. She wasn't a pure human like we are, and okay, sure, she was our test subject, lab rat, but she was more than that to so many others. She was a mother, a sister, a wife, a cousin, a second cousin once removed, so on and on and on. Much of those all to one single person, but nevertheless we still cared for her expendable inbred self. So much in fact, we decided to let the Vault Dwellers take a vote on how to go about handling her funeral. They decided to go with a traditional Wastelander burial, I guess. Everyone said some wonderful words about their lovely past matriarch. Rightfully so, as she's basically their multi-generational ancestor, especially some of our younger folks who are her descendants. Alright then, let's blow her up, I guess. You wastelanders have some strange traditions, I must say. And now, we mourn the ashes of what once was, and what shall never be again. Goodbye, our friend. Goodbye for now. Now, I realize the recent events are rather sad, even though she was simply an incest-enjoying freak. All this to say, I am afraid even with Clem's death, our righteous patriotic research and mission is not finished and must carry on. Let the work begin. First things first, we need that multi-analyzer built post-haste, which we would quickly achieve. Clem didn't die for that gold for nothing. We plan on using this bad boy for our extensive research into advanced general atomic cybernetics first and foremost. It's going to take quite some time, but we'll get this research finished up in a jiffy. In the meantime, how about we take a look at deadlift and pecs, two of our inbred children who are now out of their growth acceleration vats, and will henceforth be known as Otto and Carl. Sticking with the theme of our Habsburg naming system, of course. As always, we like to look over some of the stats, the medical issues, things like that of our inbred folk. I think we'll start with Otto here. A crumbled mind. We're really getting and delving into the scientific and medical issues, are we not, of those who... Yeah. So, okay, yeah. An incurable condition, a crumbled mind, right out of the growth vat. Oh, and a psychopathic pyromaniac who is also quite sickly. The stats? If there was anyone expendable, it is dear Otto here. The drawbacks, one could say, of his incestuous lineage. Go ahead, Otto. Be free. Oh my god. Carl, on the other hand, health sterilized. Oh, okay, so this is what we saw with the pigs earlier. So after so much inbreeding, they appear to become sterile, which I guess makes sense, obviously. That was not the same for Otto, but Carl seems to have that. I think as we continue progressing, we're probably going to meet a bit of a brick wall with sterile folk. So I would think that the evidence is pretty conclusive that we need to at least introduce people at some point from outside the breeding pool. Now, Carl, though, has been bred through his lineage since birth to have a great crafting skill. And by God, does he have a great crafting skill. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, he was a baby, but now he has a minor passion and is really good at crafting. He's a sickly, he and Otto both have been sickly, which isn't good either. A nimble, sickly, quick sleeper. So he's got some decent ones, but they're both sickly, which is very much concerning because if they're both sickly, there's a good chance that offspring in the future are going to continue being sickly. We have no reason to stop our experimentation at the moment, so I guess we'll continue. But I am going to say this episode, I think that the evidence is pretty conclusive. Hear me out on this. Inbreeding is bad and is not good. In case you needed me to tell you that, but for the sake of the United Vaults of America and their research into the topic of inbreeding with vaults with limited populations and limited options and resources, inbreeding not great, though maybe tolerable, just depending, right? It may be tolerable in small doses here and there, but we definitely would have to introduce more people into the populace. But we'll continue our research for long-term studies. Of course, this vault is not going anywhere and will stay as a foundational fortress, a research hub out in the wasteland. I'm not ending anything right now. I don't know why I sound like I'm ending the episode, but I just want to make that clear. This isn't going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere. Not even myself. Unless the voices get me to do what they're telling me to do. That probably won't happen, though. We're fine. We're good. Now then, since we definitely don't need to do any more research on the inbreeding effects on animals, we're going to slaughter these hogs and have them for dinner. It would seem that with inbreeding, all roads end up leading back to infertility and sterilization. On the bright side, not only do we get a nice pork chop dinner, but we can use the hydroponics basins in this room to grow more psychoid to make more jet. I will say, however, I wasn't all that sure what we should do with this room since we're going to be growing psychoid in here and we can't move these hydroponics basins, and we also have our septic tank tanks in here processing waste. Although you can't really smell it, so I decided to convert the room into a recreation room for all our vault dwellers. It's a standard issue for all vaults. They don't know any better. Truly though, as we kinda sorta continue with our inbreeding project, and it is coming to the closing point where I think in the next few generations all of them are going to become sterile, I do wonder what the overseer at Vault 13 is going to want us working on at our little research vault here at 15. I suppose that is for the future to hold, but maybe robotics or cybernetics? Seems like a good choice, especially since we finished our research into advanced general atomic cybernetics, and we're going to be moving on to those, secret designs, as they were. As we're working on that research, though, we are going to build ourselves some heavy-duty gestators. That way, we'll be well prepared for resurrecting the sentry bots, and we can also go ahead and start resurrecting the cybernetic dog, as well as the Mr. Gutsy unit that we had in storage. With those two not taking long at all, and being fully reassembled and reprogrammed shortly thereafter. My oh my, what handsome, dapper units they are. Well, if nothing else, Farnsworth seems to be quite tickled that he's finally in some good company of his own kind. Now, I'm only touching on the Mr. Gutsy and Cyberdog very briefly because realistically they're not going to be doing all that much in terms of day-to-day work other than just patrolling throughout the vault and ensuring that the peace is kept. The interesting stuff comes now after we finished up the secret documents designs research, and we can finally, yes finally, begin gestating, reprogramming, and rebuilding our sentry bots, soon to be our massive rolling tank protectors. And aggressors, when we want them to be. Given that they're much larger and complex than other types of robots, we are going to have to take a little bit of time and allow them to go about this process, which takes a while. In the meantime, we are going to be making plenty of flake that we plan on using to make a shit ton of jet. Again, I don't want this to turn into a jet den, so we're only using these for fighting weapon purposes, things like that, and they're gonna stay on this shelf, okay? By the time we had a bucket full of jet, we also had finally finished reprogramming our sentry bots. Introducing SentryBot Siege 1 and SentryBot 1. I don't have any names for them just yet, but it ain't their names that I'm looking for. It's their killing prowess. Their destructive capabilities, if you will. Their murderous... Did my hair just fall out? What the f*** is happening to me? Oh, great, as if things couldn't get any worse. Ah, the Legion. I suppose they're still angry about us killing their people and stealing their gold. Looks like one of their folks here is related to, well, literally everyone in the colony except for me, Good, and Shirley. Well, I can't say that I'll make any promises to take this fellow in as a test subject, as with our new defense force,
Threat neutralization.
I think he's going to be turned into strawberry jam. Luckily, I found my old helmet in my office before I left it. That way no one, is going to be quite aware of my follicle loss, you could say. It does appear that these legionaries are going to be waiting for a moment, and we could sit back and test out our defenses, but I think a good offense is going to be just as nice to test out. I'm actually going to take cover up here, and we're going to see just how well our sentry bots can do. We're going to bring the sentry bots to some pre-war wreckage. I'll let them take cover. I think they should have range. Are they firing yet? Not yet. Alright, but whoa, whoa, whoa. Before you open fire, sentry bots. Okay, legionaries are beginning their assault. Shit on it. Go ahead. Attack, attack. Go ahead. I want to see. Oh, wow. Whew. Okay, well, that's pretty good so far. That's pretty good. Hey there, little guy. Oh, careful, though. Careful. Hold fire. Oh, that almost killed me. Throw the turret. Go, go, go. Okay, actually, I'm gonna make my way back over here to the sentry bots. Completely forgot about the fact that they might try to blow me up by accident as well. Oopsie poopsie. Alright, I'm moving this way. Open fire, fellas. Open fire. Oh, good lord. This is absolute carnage. Oh, but they've barely taken any hits. And they are completely unleashing. Good lord. Okay. Alright, we've got to be careful here. We do, and I always say we've got to be careful, but we're blowing shit up down here, and we're starting to damage the exterior plating. So much I think we've destroyed a little, or maybe it was part of the mountain, but sheesh. Okay, careful, sentry bots. Careful. Oh no. Oh, that's the little turret. Okay. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Alright, I'm going to move here. I'm going to bring this sentry bot up here. And I'm going to send this one down here. Good luck, gentlemen. Good luck. And I'm talking to the legionaries. They're going to need as much luck as they can get. I'm actually going to go up here and hide a bit, because I don't want to get killed, preferably. Here we go. How are we doing? We're doing pretty good. We are missing a little bit. They might not be super accurate, but it's working. Oh, and what? Oh, wow. Good God! An absolute bloodbath. And the only survivor, known as Flea, is getting away. Yes, go tell your legionary friends what happened here today so they don't make the same foolish mistake. Now, that being said, Nelly is injured. Mostly gunshots, actually. Mostly gunshots. And that's about it. Well, I think we can say for certain that the sentry bots are pretty great, and they're exactly what we hoped they'd be, and more, because, I mean, when I say bloodbath, oh, look at this. I mean, it is indeed a bloodbath. That was incredible. Oh, imagine if we have an army of them. This vault will want no more for any type of defenses. I'm gonna get myself inside. I'm gonna tend to myself. I also need to maybe kind of find out what's going on with my hair loss as well. But that's gonna be a little secret for me. Nobody else needs to know about that, yeah? Lucky for me, it's a rule of thumb that every good overseer keeps a backup stim pack in their nightstand. Never know when you might have a mutiny where they come into your bedroom in the middle of the night. I know a nice warm bath would really clear my mind though and help me kinda get things in motion, if you will. It's also a nice little vacation away from everyone and will allow me to think. I have a lot on my mind and a lot to figure out. I'm feeling much better. Perhaps a little bit of television to kinda ease me into my evening, eh? Yes, I think all I really needed was just a little bit of rest and relaxation. I'm feeling... Oh, I'm not feeling so good. Oh, God. I need to go find help. Maybe if I can make it back to Vault 13, maybe the overseer there can give me some type of medicine, but I can't let anyone see me like this. It'll be a few days' journey, but if I can make it there pretty quickly... I'm sorry about that, sweetie. Just know it wasn't anything personal. Well, Poe, it seems that you are perched atop the new overseer of Vault 15. Lucky you. Hello there, Vault Dweller. My name is Good, and I am your overseer. Such a pleasure to meet a pure, non-mutated human such as myself and yourself. One who I suspect will fit right in among our inbred experimental Vault Dwellers. Welcome aboard. Yes, indeed, myself and my pet Crow, Poe, now occupy the Overseer's office and function as the guiding light of Vault 15, after the sudden passing of my girlfriend Nelly, the old Overseer. Yep, super sad. A heart attack, I think. Nothing we could do. Nothing we did do, either. There's some kind of rumor floating around that I've been injecting her with small doses of the FEV virus for months to track its effects as my own experiment on behalf of the Enclave. Lies, slander. Don't believe your lying eyes. or ears. Anyway, enjoy the vault. Now that the vault is under new leadership, we'll be switching gears a bit. Inbreeding vault dwellers, our original experiment, is ongoing, but no longer the primary focus. Today, we focus on robotics and cybernetics. What better place to start than by building an army of literal killing machines to protect our home and slaughter our enemies in a vicious hail of bullets, rockets, and I think that's about it. Now, going about acquiring a robot army, as one might guess, can take a little bit of time. So, in the meantime, as we are working on the means of acquiring and sustaining said army, we're also going to be working on some research into bionic replacements. Now, one of the biggest hurdles about having a small robot army is the fact that where the hell do you charge them all, right? And they're too damn big. We can't just always have them wandering up and down the hallways that we won't be able to fit ourselves walking by them or anything, and we can't just have them rolling around. You get what I'm saying. So we're going to build them their very own room for storage when we need them to go in here for whatever purpose when they're not patrolling, as well as a recharging room. The room itself was not cheap to build by any means, as each recharger cost quite a bit of steel as well as components. However, the most expensive part is by far its power consumption. Even right now, with having most of those rechargers off, we still don't have near enough power excess to power even what we have. The obvious solution to this is yet another Vault-Tec super reactor, which is going to provide us with more power in the next few years than the sun makes, probably. I'm not good at math, as we've already established, but it will make plenty enough power for us to constantly recharge our robot army, as well as keep the entirety of the Vault powered as well. But as with most things in life, it ain't free, and it's gonna cost us quite a bit of steel, plasteel, components, and most importantly, advanced components, which we do not currently have, and we need to acquire. Luckily, our intel provides us with the location of an ancient garrison, which most likely has plenty of these materials, as well as a few robots that we could kill, as well as resurrect into our army. And so it is, yet another grand expedition for our little inbred freaks to go out and find us some useful materials so we can prolong our success. Operation Try Not to Die. Sorry, I'm running out of names. Thought I'd go with something a bit more practical. It is on this mission we'll be sending almost the entirety of our small stockpile of the combat-enhancing drug known as Jet. Our little vault dwellers will be able to fight their hearts out with the best chance of success while high out of their minds. We're also going to be sending our cybernetic canine, who I have dubbed Bark, Biological Autonomous Recon Canine. Now, it is true, normally I would let you fine folks name our critters, but this shall probably be our last episode in this series in particular. Of course, not the entire universe, I just like to stress that. And there's a really good chance that Bark here is going to get turned into scrap metal and a heaping pound of meat out there, so, you know. Now, for control over our cybernetic puppy, I'm going to be giving Thatcher my old Pip-Boy, since our old overseer, my girlfriend, passed. She no longer needed hers, and I've taken it for myself. Godspeed, you little inbred freaks. Godspeed. The travel to the ancient garrison upon the pre-war roads is going to take quite some time, between about 4 to 5 days, just depending, I guess, on the weather and the terrain, and also if our little band of inbred folk get murdered by super mutants, which, that probably won't happen, probably. In the meantime, though, as they are traveling, we finally finished up our research into bionic replacements. The only issue is we still need some of those advanced components to go about making our bionic replacements. Now, I won't lie, we do have a little bit in storage, but not quite enough for me to feel comfortable going about using them before we get our reactor. As mentioned, there is a chance that our folks might die, so in case that were to be the case, the backup plan is going to be a sure-powered geothermal generator. Not near as powerful as a super reactor, but it might be able to get us some of those rechargers online just long enough to power up sentry bots that we can turn them off later. That's assuming our people die, though. Oh, shit. Death claws. Looks like they might not be the only ones we have to worry about dying. So as the death claws are moving towards us, I'm going to pause for a moment here. I'm a little worried, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm pretty sure we can handle them for sure, but these are the first death claws that we've seen in quite some time, might I say. I want to immediately bring literally everyone inside. All except for the overseer. unlike our predecessor, and unlike my lover, of course, I am going to be fighting these Deathclaws head on as soon as I find my other sentry bot. Okay, so they're almost already here. Maybe I'm not going to go out, but I will send my sentry bot out to deal with him. Here we go. Come on, sentry bot. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Actually might need a little bit of help. Maybe I should try to help out a little, if I can. Oh no, I'm vomiting. Why am I vomiting? Oh god. Throw the Molotov, quickly! We're losing him! Oh good lord. Okay, we've got our other sentry bot, who has come to save the day. Oh, come on. Come on! Oh, Farnsworth. Alright, we've got one killed. Uh-oh, we've lost our sentry bot. Go back inside, quickly, and lock the door. Farnsworth, as always, is completely holding the line for us. Come on, sentry bot. There we go. Farnsworth is an absolute menace. Look at this. Oh my god, that is incredible. Good job, Farnsworth, good job. All right, we need everyone putting out this fire. Oh, Farnsworth, I think an army of whatever model that he is would be great. He's better than any sentry bot or any Mr. Gutsy. He's the best, he really is. Everyone's puking again, which is strange because I don't think I have Farnsworth. That's why I took him off unrestricted, okay. I know I mentioned it before, I have to put Farnsworth back on 4. He gives everyone food poisoning because he starts cooking, and he's not very good at it. Alright, come Deathclaw, come. You've managed to put a big dent in our defenses here, but other than that, I am afraid you managed to do absolutely nothing. And now you will pay for it. Ah, there we are. Damn, these bastards have some tough hides. Let's get them out of here. Get them out of here. Maybe we remove their skulls. I think that would be good. We might want those skulls for something. Keep them as a treasure trove for our grand defense against them here at the vault. Our sentry bot needs a little bit of assistance. We'll go ahead and start repairing him. You done good out there, buddy. You managed to hold them off until Farnsworth arrived to take care of them for us. We only lost one turret during the whole ordeal, so I guess it's a good thing the sentry bot and Farnsworth kept their attention. Whew, yeah, I was worried about that, although it did turn out pretty good. We haven't fought Deathclaws in a long time, so yeah, that would be why. That was wonderful, though. A wonderful defense effort by everyone. Good show, good show. Let's get our sentry bot repaired. Hopefully we can get people no longer food poisoned now that Farnsworth is no longer cooking once more. And we'll keep those skulls, I guess, for a good old-fashioned, treasure? Maybe put them in the overseer's office, I don't know. Ah, yes, a grand victory. I must say, the one downside I think I noticed during this battle, and this seems to be a theme or downside, as one might imagine, to these sentry bots is they are much slower than other types of robots, even though they pack one hell of a punch, meaning that you kinda have to get them out to a defensive position much faster than any of your other robots, of course. But other than that, they done one hell of a job. Not too long after, we would finish up that research into sure power geothermal generators as our backup, just in case, of course. And we got some good news that Rudolph is pregnant. As you can see, the inbred experiment is still ongoing at this time, and we're not really giving them any direction. We're just kind of letting them do what they already were doing naturally. That being said, finally, our little merry band of adventurers would arrive at the ancient pre-war garrison to gather resources and perhaps even some robots. Indeed, we have finally arrived at the ancient garrison. I already hear doors moving around, so there's something in there. More often than not, these ancient US military facilities tend to have some type of robots within them or some other defense force, which is good for us if we're going to be building something of a robot task force or army this episode, as we can resurrect them. I will say I already noticed a couple of protectrons outside that are dead. Probably a skirmish with raiders, or maybe, I don't know actually, maybe destroyed when the bombs fell. Who knows? We are down here though, and we are well prepared. We have Bark, who is going to be going in for us, and we've also brought with us quite a few different mining charges. Now I think we could just go right in if we wanted to, but actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. Come on, Bark. I'm gonna send Bark inside the building here. I want to bring everyone over here. We're gonna send him in and see if we can find what we need to. In terms of enemies is, I guess, what I'm getting at. Because he should be able to get away from them pretty quickly. Something in this damn place was moving, and I heard it. I hear it right now. Something through the doors. All right, come on, Bark. Oh, here we go. All right, so we've got... oh shit. All right, so we have a sentry bot burner. So flames, fire, that's a problem. 2 protectrons and a utilitron, and we also have an assaultron. Good God almighty. This is going to be a rough one. That is for sure. I want to see, there's gotta be a way for us to use some of those mining charges that we got. Let's see if we can break through this wall here. If we break through this wall, we can put our mining charges up this way, break another wall, and maybe be able to hit them with it. Oh, we have some sealed crates in here too. We'll check those in a minute. Let's see, who's got our mining charges? We've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I brought most of them that we acquired last episode. 1, 2. We've got a shit ton of... Oh my God, look at how many's on Bark. He's got so many mining charges. Holy. Alright, let's try and get these moved into place real quick. So as we're putting some of these mining charges up here, I do obviously realize that these crates are going to get blown to all hell, so I'm also going to try to open these. I've got everyone set to area 1. Oh yeah, look at that. We've got some shells. Those might actually be useful up here. At least the high explosive ones, I'd say. Let's move the talk shells and everything down here, and we might leave the high explosive shells simply so they could help us blow up the robots. I hope this little plan works, but there's a good chance that it won't. Okay, so let's set these high explosive shells, I think, right there, and we'll get them moved right next to our mining charges. I'd like to put more mining charges in other places, but any way of coming into this hallway is going to get us caught and or blasted. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we put them in this room, I guess, so that we can use them. I am going to stuff a few more over here, though, for our big attack, as it were. Quite a few of them, actually. Finally, with all of our charges in place, I'm gonna let everyone start inhaling some jet. Oh, great. Now Lee is addicted to jet. That's not great. Although I guess he would be willing to take some other forms of drugs as well. We'll get everyone super duper high on jet, and then I am going to begin the attack here. I'm not gonna keep everyone in this room, though. Obviously, that would be a terrible idea. Let's pick up all that jet if we can. Oh, come though. Pick up all the jet. There we go. Let's get everyone moving down here. I might leave Thatcher up here, though. Thatcher's our best shot. If he's high on jet, I think it's going to be great. I think we're going to do good. I think everything will be a-okay. The issue is we need a clear path right here. Let's go ahead and get that going. I don't want Bark up here either because this is going to be hellish. We're going to be dropping a lot of our food, but I don't feel like picking it up at the moment. We'll find some, I'm sure, somewhere in here. Let's go ahead, deconstruct this. Now, the issue is, and I'm very nervous about this, there's a good chance that they end up causing these to detonate on their own, especially with the Protectron right there. Here we go. All right. Move down here. Would that hit the Protectron? Maybe a little bit. Let's hide. Protectron is coming out. This might be the best opportunity to do this, honestly. Let's hit a mining charge. Oh, come on. There we go. I don't think they've even spotted us. Let's move. Oh, now they've spotted us. Here we go. Goodbye, Assaultron. Hopefully. Oh! Oh! That was really good. But, okay, so the Protectron got turned to dust, but the Assaultron is still alive. Cracked. There's a lot of cracks. Alright, well, that'll make it much easier to take them out, but, oh, now we need to deal with the Sentry Bot, and of course we still need to deal with the Assaultron and the others, but that wasn't too bad. That was actually exactly what we wanted, for the most part. I think if we could manage to break this wall, we might have a good chance of convincing the Sentry Bot and the others to come in here. Let's see how this goes. You would think that shooting at it would draw its attention, no? Well, we've got the attention of the utilitron. I'm gonna hold this open, and I'm gonna wait. If I can get the sentry bot to even just come this way right here, like it's about to do that. Oh, nope, it's not going to. We don't really have a way to go about moving these charges anymore without getting shot at. We could take out some of these protectrons with them, though. Oh, or the assaultron if they get close enough, but nobody's getting close enough. Could we draw them in by using bark, I wonder? Oh, no. Okay, well, those are getting detonated now. That did not work out how I hoped it would. Oh, but they didn't hit them. Okay. All right, everyone get ready. Protectron is coming. Let's hold this open. We'll take cover right here. Take cover, everyone take cover. Protectron is on its way. Oh, shit. All right, let's take it out. Maybe we could actually send Bark in to melee it. Go, go, go. There we go. Okay, well that opened up this massive room, opening to the room, I should say, but there's no way to get them close enough to detonate those now. They're staying in this kind of area right here for some reason. Programming, perhaps? I don't know. We need to hurry, though, because I think, yeah, our jet has already worn off, which is a shame. We keep missing it, too. All right, so this Protectron's coming. I'm gonna blast it. I'm gonna blow him all to hell. I don't even care. Oh. Maybe I won't. Oh my god, come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, now if I move this way, he should start coming in. Right? Will he try to chase us? Nope. Oh, come on. So close, but so far. Maybe I could drop the roof on their heads if I do enough damage here, but I think we're gonna have to take a hands-on approach to them, unfortunately. So I'm gonna bring some people out this way so they can... Whoa, Maximilian, the opposite way, please. I'm gonna bring people up this way so they can take cover and fire, and then I'm also going to keep Ferdinand down here for the same purpose and Otto here for the same purpose. However, before we do that, Maximilian has more jet, which I'm going to be giving to everyone here. Go ahead and inhale some of this. Everyone gets super high on jet. Please, I'm begging you. I'm gonna bust a hole out right here. That way we can continue taking cover and we'll have enough room for everyone. Oh my god. I don't think that hit us. Yeah, okay. Thankfully that didn't hit us. Maybe we should back up just a hair when we can. Okay, now back up. Thatcher, come this way. Everyone back up. We're getting more fire. Oh, that's not what we wanted to happen, Lee. Extinguish Lee. Provide cover fire, everyone. Quickly, quickly, quickly. I'm gonna let Otto take cover. Oh, good heavens. Good heavens. All right, still try to extinguish Lee if we can. Okay, very quickly. Everyone get the hell out of there right away. Oh, my. Let's take cover back here. That would have been real bad. Ferdinand, move everybody back into... Ferdinand is on fire. This is so bad. Ferdinand, no. No. Wait. Put him out. Put him out. Okay. This is a shitstorm, I gotta tell you. Oh, God. Ferdinand, please. Oh, God. More fire. All right. Lee is good. I'm gonna bring Lee back inside. That way he can use his grenades. Maximilian and Thatcher, if you could keep cover fire going, that would be great. Oh, Maximilian. Oh, shit. The Assaultron has targeted us. Get out of the way. Go. Okay. Lee, come up this way. Chuck a grenade at that bastard. Okay. Go. Here we go. Maybe a grenade. Oh, God. This is so bad. Oh, God. All right, everybody move. Oh, did we... Oh, we put down the Assaultron. Yes. Sweet. Perfect. Exactly what we needed. Ferdinand's about to get caught on fire once more. A massive shame. Oh, God. So much fire. We are getting grenades off at the sentry bot, though. These might just save us. They also might not. Get away from the sentry bot. Bark, if you could get in up close and personal and attack it, that would be great. Oh, God, Otto's on fire. Everyone's on fire. Oh. We need to put out Ferdinand, but we also... Oh, man. Thatcher, okay. Extinguish Ferdinand. He's gonna burn to death if we're not careful here. Bark is keeping this bastard distracted, which is perfect. Thank you, Bark. That Protectron, though, is an absolute bitch. Oh no, Bark! You're okay, buddy. You're alright. Take cover, take cover. With Bark keeping the sentry bot distracted, I think we could come in and attack up close. Focus on the sentry bot. There we go. Holy shit. Alright, everybody come in. Everybody come in. We don't have stim packs, which is not good. Alright, start tending to yourself immediately. Everybody's just kind of shot, mostly from the Protectron, so not a big deal. Everybody just tend to yourselves as best you can. Yeah, Otto can't even do doctoring work. Alright, let's start adventuring then. We're gonna look around. So we do have the corpses of the Assaultron and the Sentry Bot, which is great. That is perfect. And we also have a few other bots around here that we could keep. I do see we have some boxes of advanced components, which is great. Those are always very much handy. I think everything else, yeah, nothing else here. We do have survival meals, though. What's this? There's steel. We got some corpses. These old U.S. Army folks don't seem to have anything on them, so that's fine, I guess. Pick up the meals, and let's take them with us. I want to continue exploring here. Thatcher can help us explore as well. A little bit of everybody, I guess. We have to watch for any other automated defenses. I think if there were more robots, they would have already come out of hiding, though, unless they're locked away in a room somewhere by one of these blast doors. Hopefully that's not the case, though. Let's keep an eye out. Nope. Okay. Nothing in any of these either, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think so. We've got... what do we have? Oh, we've got a lot of weapons. We do have stim packs. Sweet. Okay. The most injured among us, come and inject some stim packs. That'll help us out. Is that another Assaultron? I wonder what killed that big bastard. I don't think it was us. So we've got 2 Assaultron corpses then. That's great. Let's, I guess continue exploring. Yes, we can collect from the pre-war vertibird. I want to get everybody down here so we can go ahead and start using those stim packs. Where is Bark? Oh, he's over here. Okay. Hello, Bark, my little hero. You've just got a few cracks and you're A-okay. Look at you. Yeah, let's heal everybody up, though, and we're going to continue exploring. Oh, we've got some pre-war uniforms and helmets. The uniforms not as useful, but the helmets definitely are. Everybody's doing pretty good. Go ahead, heal, heal, heal quickly. There we go. Yeah, I think we're going to be good then. Yeah, let's take a look around. I don't see anything else except for the robot corpses and the advanced components, which... the 2 biggest things we wanted. Caravan detected. Looks like they've sent out some kind of signal to other pre-war robots, but I don't think we're gonna have an issue. Oh shit. There is a stockpile though. I didn't even notice this. Do we want to go down in the bunker? The thing is, we already have what we need, and going in that bunker could be a death sentence. Truly, it could. Especially if there's more pre-war robots defending it, like sentry bots in close quarters like that. I'm sure you guys have seen the bunkers. They're just like this, except you can't run outside, and the reason you can't run outside is because you're underground, of course. Every door is a blast door for the most part. I think we would get slaughtered if there are pre-war robots defending it. So, instead, I think we cut our losses. We haven't lost anyone, and that's kind of my point, is I don't want to lose anyone. I think we take most of these corpses, we'll allow everything. I'm going to check these bodies. I don't think there's much. Oh, well, there's combat armor on this person. There's a helmet here. We could wash these outfits. You know what? All right, let's go ahead and strip these people. I'll search the bodies for anything useful. We'll take some of the armor and stuff if we can. Up here's more armor, actually. So I was all talk there, saying I wasn't going to. We'll take their armor. We can take it home. We can wash it, of course, as we well know, and we'll also take the robot corpses, advanced components, so on and so forth, and we are going to head home after collecting all those items. And so we would, even with the vastness of our little adventuring crew and how many folks we had in it, of course, unfortunately, we still couldn't carry all of the mechanoids back home. We had to leave the Protectrons, but we did end up getting that Sentry Bot as well as both Assaultrons, so I would consider that a massive win. Meanwhile, back home, apparently Carl and Maria are now dating. What a sweet sister-cousin once removed relationship. Congratulations, you two. And Dolly would end up pregnant not too long thereafter. I'm glad that everyone's still having a good time. And by a good time, I mean that they're still having... Anywho, now that one of our inbred dwellers is addicted to jet, we're gonna have to start making a lot more of it. And since we already used up most of our stockpile, I think it's good for us to make some more anyways. We also began working on some Psycho, which is also going to be a wonderful performance-enhancing drug during battles. Sometime later, and our little adventurers had finally returned home. Imagine the shock in my eyes when I realized that none of them died. They truly have learned how to survive out in the wasteland. Kinda, sorta, that is. Regardless though, they brought home all those robot corpses and advanced components, as well as a smorgasbord of other things, of course, that they found, and that is the best of all. Because that means we can immediately start working on a brand new, small, albeit, reactor room for our Vault-Tec Super Reactor, which we would end up completing the construction of shortly thereafter. Now generating absolutely insane amounts of electricity. And of course, because it can get very, very hot, we also set this small room up with its very own freezing system. That way we don't blow the entire place to hell. With this new reactor, finally, we can turn on all our mechanoid rechargers, which also means we can go ahead and start reassembling and resurrecting that sentry bot and those assaultrons onto our mechanoid army. Throw in a couple of extra batteries for good measure, and we are locked and loaded. No, literally, we're all locked and loaded with all those new weapons that we found as well. Indeed, every one of our little inbred dwellers has received quite the upgrade in their loadout. Yes, including, but not limited to, Charles, who is completely blind. Maybe not the best choice for that rifle. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Now that we have a lot of mechanoids beginning to use all those rechargers, we're also going to be stuffing all of our toxic waste outside. Otherwise, it would fill up our freezer that we were previously keeping it in, and besides, the wasteland's pretty dirty and toxic as is. It'll be fine. Speaking of mechanoids, finally, oh finally, we have our army beginning to form. 2 assaultrons and 3 sentry bots. God almighty, smell the oil and metal mashing in the air. If we'd had a few more of these around in the pre-war, those dirty commies never would have dropped a single bomb. I love them. But we're also going to be working on some other experimentation, as we previously mentioned, with that being bionics. Fully robotic defenders are great, but what if we could turn a man into a machine? Would that not be even better? Would that not maybe be the step in our evolution that is missing? Sure, maybe the Enclave is helping us work out some stuff with a forced evolutionary virus, but you didn't hear it from me. But maybe bionics could be just as good, or perhaps a combination of the two. Well, either way, we intend to find out. Currently, all we could afford to make was a spine, 2 arms, and a bionic heart. But I think that's going to be plenty enough for our experimentation starting off. Thatcher, being our best fighter, is going to be the best choice for a guinea pig for this little experiment. And thankfully, everything would go off without any issues. Let me ask you though, did you really think that we were just inbreeding these vault dwellers just for the sake of inbreeding them for that scientific research? That was a big part of it. But we basically wanted a vault of nothing but expendable dwellers. And who is more expendable than a bunch of lab rats who have been breeding with one another that are grown in our vault? It was the perfect plan, and it continues to be the perfect plan. We are going to save America, one little bionic inbred freak at a time. Speaking of little bionic inbred freaks, we ended up giving Charles a bionic eye as well, the last of our advanced components for the moment. So it looks like we'll have to try to do some trading soon, as I really don't want to risk sending them all back out into the wasteland. Not so soon, at least. Do you see what I'm saying now, though? Charles, an inbred freak who is completely blind, can now see, or at least half see, out of one eye. These bionics could be the future of repairing what is lost and or what was never given. Ah, indeed, Poe, my beautiful feathered friend. It seems we'll have an unstoppable automated defense force soon enough, led by our very own bionic inbred cyborg. Ain't the wasteland grand? Now then though, as we continue expanding our robotic army, we are going to need to go about expanding the vault for many more band nodes. Basically, these are just going to increase the bandwidth of our overseer's Pip-Boy, allowing her to control more and more and more. You could think of Vault 15 here not only as a grand research facility of the United Vaults of America now, but also one great big satellite antenna that is going to allow us to create and control a massive robot army. The reason, of course, that we're tuning all of these robots to the Overseer's Pip-Boy, I mean, it's pretty obvious. They're very dangerous, and we wouldn't want anyone else to have control of them, obviously, as they could use them for nefarious purposes outside of the realm of what the United Vaults of America deem acceptable. You understand. Now, with all that completed, using our Vault Tech-approved and certified communication console and an extension antenna, we can call in rogue robots from around the wasteland at any time of our choosing. This will allow us to bring them in, kill them, and then reassemble them as our own for our army, of course. Our very first of these signals would bring in some of said rogue bots, who arrived about a day or so later, and among them, another sentry bot. Hard to defeat, sure, especially within this group of other robots, but well worth the bloodshed and or oil shed. There also appears to be a rogue Enclave bot among them. They'll be tickled plum pink that we found this little bastard for 'em. I've got everyone coming outside. We are going to take down these robots. I've got most people coming outside, I should say. I have Maria, Dolly, Rudolph, and Shirley staying inside. I also want to put Poe inside as well. Basically, all the pregnant people, Shirley because she can't fight, and then we're going to keep Farnsworth and Bark inside to keep them protected. Everyone else, all of our robots, will be assisting us. Now the question is obviously, how do we get up here to destroy these other robots without really taking all that much damage? And I think the key to that is going to be our Assaultrons. They have the explosive firepower from a distance, so I think they are going to be our best bet for getting in a lot of lashes in on these enemy robots from a distance. Our poor sentry bots are incredibly slow, but as soon as they get up here, they'll do great too, I think, for sure. We may, I don't know, we may not even need them if we get our Assaultrons into position fast enough. What is the range on the Assaultrons, might I ask? Not very much. So, there's that. Not very much at all. I do have, as the Overseer as well, I might want to mention the old Overseer's EMP specialized rifle that will EMP robots. Everybody hold your fire. Don't attack them yet. We still need to get where we can take cover. We just want to take a look at them. Oh, they're beginning their assault. Okay. Let's use our Assaultrons then, if they're going to go ahead and start coming this way. We'll start with them. I'm going to bring everyone else down this way, and our sentry bots are already on their way up here, so that'll be good. Let's see if we can kill these Protectrons. Ooh, and the iBots. Oh my god. That is not good. Come on, here we go. Alright then. We didn't kill it though, but we did damage them pretty badly. I don't want our Assaultrons getting destroyed, so we need to bring them back as well. Oh, Christ. Good lord. I think we could beat the shit out of them though if we really want to. Let's bring our sentry bots in too. Here we go. The biggest issue is the fact that this sentry bot seems to be dealing explosive damage to us with whatever type of weapon that it has, and it's not going to stop doing that. That's going to continue to happen, so we have to be very careful here as we continue letting our Assaultrons take some damage. Let's see how badly we can damage the Protectrons. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pull the Assaultrons back, and I'm gonna bring our sentry bots forward to help us. Our Assaultrons are absolute units, but they're taking one hell of a beating here. Open fire. Oh my god. We have our Mr. Gutsy coming this way, and I think I'll kind of tag along here if I can. There we go. I need... Damn it. Bring our Assaultrons back up this way again. Our Mr. Gutsy, I need you to get in there, bud. Beat the shit out of this Mr. Gutsy. There we go. Yeah, the sentry bot up here is, I mean, he's just absolutely beating the hell out of us. And with his explosive damage, it is less than good. Obviously, not good at all. I'm gonna move up this way. I'll have the Assaultrons tag along with me as our sentry bots are attempting to defeat these bastards. Our sentry bot 1 has taken so much damage, it seems. I don't think he can even do melee combat anymore. I'll bring him back here so he's out of the way at least. And let's move back a bit. Go Assaultrons, go! Go, go, go! Here we go! Alright, let's do this. We've managed to stun it. It's gonna take a few hits, I think. That was a couple. He is attacking our dwellers though, so I'm gonna bring them back some. Oh! He's down. All right, hell yeah, he's down. That is exactly what we wanted. That was very loud, so I do apologize. The explosions were, oof. Lee, I didn't even realize he went to a food binge mid-battle. That wouldn't have been good. Our mechanoids and/or robots need a lot of repairs. However, everyone seems to have survived. Let's take a look. Yes, they're all very damaged, but yes, indeed. Put them on auto repair. I should be doing that instead of manually. They are all damaged for the most part, but they're fine. And we have a new explosive-powered, the Siege Sentry bot to add to our repertoire to resurrect, as well as a couple of protectrons, and I think we have that iBot frame that we can give. I'm not sure who took it, but we can give it to the Enclave. They'll be happy to know that we destroyed one of their rogue bots. I need to set up a zone so we can get everybody hauling our new mechanoid pals inside. Put it right here. So we'll go ahead and get them brought in, and we'll start the resurrection process on them. Having them added on to our little army of robots once ours are repaired, I think really will be quite the army. Having 4 sentry bots like that is going to be absolutely just insane. I mean, genuinely insane. Plus, with Thatcher becoming a bit of a cyborg at this point, that's going to be great. Alright though, let us get to repairing and let us get to resurrecting, shall we? But as we're doing that, in the meantime, perhaps instead of watching a boring montage of the wasteland and our vault, I could interest you in some wonderful artwork by our good friend Kin the King Art on Twitter, at Kin the King Art, and the artwork this time around being of our Nelly, our beloved deceased overseer. Truly, this, and I don't think Kin King knew this at the time of making this because it was before the last episode, but this is a wonderful tribute to her in her death, question mark? What does he mean by that? Foreshadowing. That's a good question, but thank you as always to Kin the King for your wonderful artwork and for always bringing our patriotic red-blooded vault dwellers to life. Now that we've seen some amazing artwork, how about we take a look at our robot army's newest additions? Oh, wow. A brand new sentry bot and 2, yes, count them, 2 protectrons with great big scatter guns for arms. Now look, I'm gonna level with you. Perhaps I kinda baited you into watching this episode by saying I had a robot army, because an army would probably consist of more than about 7 or 8 robots, give or take, of course. But, given the fact that one sentry bot could kill about 40 people fighting against it, I think the numbers even out pretty well, and we do indeed have our robot army. Our automated defense force that could easily protect Vault 15 from any evil-doers, communist, or other different malicious ne'er-do-wells for that matter. Our mechanical meat grinders, our robotic slaughtering force. And I, for one, am very much eager to test them out, truly. Lucky for us, it seems an opportunity has already presented itself. We've received word that Caesar's Legion is requesting to meet for, quote-unquote, peace talks. Look, we may not be all that familiar with the Legion, but everyone in the wasteland aware of them is aware that they do not do peace. They do conquest and submission. This is just a simple ploy to slaughter us like dogs. Luckily, that's exactly what we were looking for. Very well, let us go meet for these peace talks, shall we? Wasting absolutely no time, myself, as well as our 2 cybernetic inbred soldiers of the vault, along with the robot army, would head to the designated location and arriving shortly there some days later. From a distance, as we began to approach, we could see the smoke from their campfires. Then we saw the red and yellow banners along with a gaggle of men running all amok. There was even a familiar face here, Walter, the same who took Ferdinand's eye, if I recall, in our first battle at the ancient quarry site with the Legion. And he appears to have gotten something of a promotion. How sweet. This is the part where the old overseer would have made a funny little quip about how he's about to get a demotion. Not me. Let's kill these cosplaying freaks. Well, my friends, today the Legion has set forth upon us the opportunity, no, the duty, to go about finishing them off here in this place in their little outpost near our home, and I mean, truly, we must oblige them in this endeavor. So, let us begin. I'm going to begin bringing everyone down here. I've got Charles and Thatcher, as we saw, with Thatcher having the old Overseer's Gauss rifle. Now, I thought the Gauss rifle would be quite good for something like this. We're going to bring the, I think, Assaultrons will come in first. Or maybe we let the Sentry Bots lead the charge. Protectrons are going to stay back here with us, as well as our Mr. Gutsy, simply to defend us. We're gonna go in last. I'm gonna have the Sentry Bots kind of take the lead, though. I think maybe placing them here so they can open fire. The majority of them have been outfitted with those miniguns that they've already been using. I think one of them still has the capability of using rockets, though, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty great. We're gonna bring the Assaultrons near. Oh my god. We may not even need the Assaultrons. Let's go ahead and get them started, though. I'm going to start firing right around this area because I think that's where they're going to be walking. Yeah. There we go. Okay, but they're moving, so let's start aiming up this way, then. Actually, let's move the Assaultrons into a better position. Oh shit, here they come. They're coming right for us. I'm gonna start aiming the cannons up here for the Assaultrons. I think we'll give it a second and then we'll kind of come in. I might let Thatcher come in since he is the cyborg among us. Oh yeah. Oh, that's gotta hurt pretty bad. Now, of course, one of the best things about the Assaultrons, though, is that they're not just ranged units. They can beat, there you go. They can beat the absolute shit out of everyone. We want them focused in this direction, especially with those rockets. I don't want those rockets blasting us here. We're gonna start moving everyone up. Oh, there they go. Where are you running to, cowards? Where are you running to? Walter. Walter is trying to get away. Yeah, I don't think so, Walter. That is not happening a second time. Sorry, buddy, but I cannot let you get away a second time. There's literally no way. Thankfully, Thatcher is pretty fast. I think we'll be able to stop old Walter here. Come here, buddy. Get your ass back here. Don't you run away. Damn you, Walter. Do not go anywhere. Oh. We just barely missed him. Oh, we are going to get our hands on him at some point. Once the United Vaults of America get their hands on Walter the Legionary, we are going to absolutely slaughter him. Let me just tell you right now. I'm just going to put our robots on escort mode. I don't care about any of these legionaries. Disgusting freaks, though I would like to come into their camp and see if they have anything useful. They might. Who knows? They might. Hello there, Bruscas. How are you? Probably a little bit better a few moments ago, I'd say. Alright, let's move in. I'm gonna let Thatcher take the lead here. We have some kind of cave system that they've built or something going on. And we're just gonna make sure... Okay, I didn't know if there might be a legate or more recruits or somebody in here. We gotta protect the Overseer at all costs. We do have... Ooh, a gold nugget. We also have a rusted safe. Let's check that out. And, oh, 38 gold. Okay, alright, not too shabby, not too shabby. I think that's about it, although we do have another one of them outside. Well, we had one of them outside, that is. And with that, my friends, we have completely dismantled this peace talk negotiation. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see it, of course. And we have slaughtered all the legionaries. But with that, I think we've gotten everything we need here. We'll probably deconstruct these things for resources. That'll be about it. We may also deconstruct these banners and what have you, and just kind of take back some of the stuff here. But other than that, I think we are already ready to return home. home. And so we were, making the long, treacherous trip, trekking back through the mountains all the way until we arrived once more at Vault 15. Our couple of inbred bionic fellows and robot army, as well as a few of our riches in tow. Speaking of which, I decided to keep some of those for myself. Yes, this helmet will go quite nicely, especially once we have Walters to match on the opposite side, along with some of those Deathclaw skulls, maybe mounted around the room. Oh, it's gonna look real nice, trust me. Ah, what's this? Finally, yet another trade caravan from the Enclave. We've been waiting for you this entire time, my allies. Perfect, now we can give them that rogue eyebot of theirs, in 100 pieces it would seem. Nevertheless, I suspect they'll be extremely excited to have it back in their custody. I would deliver it to them myself, as well as to discuss some business, you could say, I suppose. Officer, they told me you'd be coming. The pleasure's all mine. Everything went perfectly, down to the last detail, just as the Enclave requested. Always a pleasure doing business with good old Uncle Sam. Now then, before we continue our operations, I suppose I should let the boss know. Perfect. All according to plan. Finally, Phase 2 begins. Hello there, friends! I just want to pop in at the end of the supercut here and say thank you. Thank you ever so much, as always, not only for watching this video in its entirety, this series, and everything like that, but also for supporting me throughout the series. I do truly hope you've enjoyed, and I wanted to pop in at the end and talk about the future of the Fallout RimWorld universe that we've built, as well as show you some wonderful artwork here by King once more. I just have to say that King has absolutely been killing it with a lot of the fan art recently of our characters. In this particular one, of course, we have Nelly, who, well, as we know now, if you watch the supercut, isn't dead, but at the time, of course, we maybe thought that toxic waste would have, eaten the flesh from her bones. We also have Good, the sadistic, callous lover, and our sweet Poe, if you can call Poe that now, I guess. Of all the art that King has made for us throughout this series, this one is by far my favorite. It just, I don't know, I think it really encapsulates as to what's happened throughout this series and within Vault 15. So a major thank you once again to King, and of course I also want to chit-chat for a moment. First, let me just start off by saying that I still absolutely love our RimWorld Fallout universe. I'm still having a lot of fun with it, and it seems like you guys are as well, and because of that, obviously, we're going to continue going through it and, continuing with it. Just want to make that clear so you don't think this is some kind of announcement of it ending. But I do want to kind of clarify. I feel like throughout my series, especially with this one, in the shared universe, I haven't really shown or suggested all that well that we're going to see these places again, like Vault 13, Vault 15, Vault 58. I want to show off all these places again. So when you see it ending like this series ending per se, it's not over with, obviously. We're not just going to see shared characters. We're going to be coming back to these places here. I feel like I haven't made that clear at all, and I really haven't, I don't think. So I just want to clarify that I'm building this up, right? So that later on, when we see these places again, you've already watched the series, you know who's there, you know what's there, you know what it looks like, blah, 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 that sort of thing. I wanted to clarify that, though, again, because I haven't done anything to clarify that at all, and I realize there's a lot of concern when my series end within, like, 4 to 5 episodes. I get it, but we're really just building a bit of a lore base, as well as other bases throughout the series, and that way we can build off of them and piggyback as we continue forward, and we can come back to these places and see these characters that we've seen before. 4, of course. So I hope that kind of clears that up. Again, I know I haven't really done a good job of clarifying that, so I want to start doing that more going forward. I love you guys ever so much, though, and once again, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.